taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with it. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. Taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no more. No, no, no. We ain't taking no. No shots. We not taking no shots. We not taking it anymore. Not taking it anymore. Not taking no shots. Not taking no shots. We ain't taking no shorts. We ain't take the wrong end of the stick anymore. We ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shorts. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with it. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. Not taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids. And we ain't taking no shots.
Welcome to Alchemizing Energy. We're about to start our stream right about now.
Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. My friend, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of the night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
All right. Should have took that iPod on my bed. We're still getting used to all the cool little bells and whistles that we've added to the show. Welcome, Kiki. How are you doing? Hello? Hello?
Hey, Monica. Hi. Can you
Hey,
hear
how's
me?
it going? Yes, I can hear you. So, I wanted to introduce you to the Alchemizing Energy show. Our show focuses on stories, trauma to triumph, darkness to light, you know. And one of the reasons why I really wanted you on here is because you have a really compelling story. I met you about 2 years ago when you were kind of going through something, uh, leaving from Atlanta to Texas with your children, trying to start a new life. Since then, you've gone back to Atlanta and you made some you found out some things about your own self, and I just wanted to kind of get into that. So but first, before we get into all that, let's know who is Key, aka Pretty High Butterfly, aka the Wandering Chrysalis. Who is Key?
Okay. So, who am I? I've always had so many issues with that question growing up because I didn't quite know who I was, but journeying through life, I've come to I've come to a lot of different faces, and so I've just learned that I am extremely versatile in who I am. And I've learned that that has a lot to do with my mental health, but we'll get into all that stuff. But me, I am the wandering chrysalis, meaning I am a wanderer, and that's pretty much, that's what I place my identity in. And now I'm learning to, I guess, stabilize myself, and I'm learning to um, set a foundation for myself in order to grow further. And my goal is to be able to do that successfully. Um, Reach out to people like me, and hopefully, people like me will find me, and they'll be able to follow my journey and follow my story, and to see exactly what I did and how I overcame a lot of the things that were troubling me. So, just a gist of who I am. I am a girl grown into a woman from Atlanta. I have 4 children, and my children are my life, and everything that I do is for them and because of them. And the one thing that I know that I need to do is to just stabilize my mental health. And I've made that a priority over everything else, because without a sane mother, like they won't have a chance. So I have to put myself first to make sure that I'm stable enough to um leave a legacy for them. And so I am basing my journey off of mental health, holistic health, and learning about herbs and learning about metaphysical, um, learning about everything metaphysical to try to help myself and learn how to help other people in my family, basically.
Okay. So Key, well, could you do me a favor? Is there any way you can cam up a little bit just so we can like see your face as you talk? Um, do you feel
Okay.
comfortable?
I'm trying to see what I look like right now.
I would love. I like. When we have our guests on our show, we really like to have people, really connect with them. So, and we really give you the platform. We really like, let our guests connect with the audience, and we want people to really see who you are, see your expression, so they can connect with you, and really want to like support you. Because, let me just give some people a background on how I met Key. I met Key a year ago. I met her on TikTok, I think it was, and at the time she was going through some stuff with her her children's father. She was going through a little bit of a domestic situation. She decided she didn't want to be in Atlanta no more.
Hmm.
She asked for help, and and I did what I could to help her to get to Texas and to get into some programs. And from what I know, I mean, let me tell you something. This woman is resilient, because most people that I like help out, they might stay for a long time or stay their welcome. The moment she touched down in Texas, she wasn't there for more than like maybe a week or two, and she was off to the races. You know, um, she did everything that she was supposed to do. She was very quick and being action oriented. Okay, I think we lost her. Hopefully she comes back up. Hopefully we didn't lose her. Hey, but anyway, she hopefully she comes back up. But she really she really was resilient. She got her own place. She built herself up. She built her whole family life up, and it was a pretty hard thing because she doing this with 4 kids. And I really wanted her to tell her story because it was some things that kind of happened that kind of took her back to Atlanta, where she became overwhelmed, and due to mental health, due to being overwhelmed, anxiety, and things like that, she had to go back and get help. So let me see where she's at. Is she coming back? Hopefully her phone didn't die. Okay, she's trying to get her camera on, and it disconnected her. All right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so she was trying to turn her camera on, and I guess it kicked her out. I don't know. It's just StreamYard's been acting very weird. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm shadow banned. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed that. Normally, I get like a couple people like mainstays that come in here. I don't think people can see that I'm even live. I tend to mainly only get people really when I'm doing lives from my cell phone. That's another weird thing that I've been trying to figure out what's going on with that. I'm still waiting on her to try to log back in. I'm not sure if we're gonna have to restart this live or redo it, or I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Let me put on some music while we wait.
Just a game. But it's not only a game. Keep on keeping. Love is just a game. Ooh, but it's not only a game. The things that keep you flowing, the laughter, the joy, the things you enjoy, joy, joy, joy. Laughter and the tears, it erases all your fears.
All right, there you go.
Go
There
through
you
the
go.
tears.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You made it back. Okay. I was like, I hope she's coming back. I don't know what's going on. I think your sound's not working. You got the sound. You're not on mute. So many technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. StreamYard. StreamYard is wilding. Hold on. Edit mic settings. Child. Can you say something? Okay,
Okay,
I hear
here
you.
we go. Here we go. Okay.
All right. Now turn on. Okay, now I got your. Okay, now.
We back.
Woo, Lord.
It's I don't know what's going on, but you know what? We gonna move through it. We gonna rock through it. Everything will be okay. It's gonna be all
It's
right.
okay. I'm gonna try to figure out how to like just cancel out that whole section right there. Anyways,
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna just delete that little part where it was a hiccup.
It's
All
okay.
right, y'all. Sorry about that. For y'all that are live with us, thank you for sticking through with us. We just was trying to get through that. So while you were gone, I was explaining how I met you and how you were going through it in Atlanta. You were you're a single mother to some two beautiful twin boy and girl and two young men. And how you came to Texas, and I gave you props. I said, you know what? Out of all the people I've helped, this person Kiana, are the most resilient person I've ever ran into because you didn't hesitate. You didn't try to sit around and wait. You hurried up and got yourself together. You got your car fixed. You took advantage of the situation. You made sure you got to a domestic violence shelter. You did everything that you said you were going to do. You did it on time. You didn't hesitate, and you built yourself up. You got your own apartment. You got a job. You did all that stuff.
Yep, I did.
You were on your way. And I said, man, Key, I'm so proud. You even lost weight.
Yeah.
How much weight did you lose?
In total, let me see. I think it was about 60 pounds I lost.
She lost 60 pounds, y'all. This girl she was doing it. I'm like, go ahead, Kiana. But something happened.
Yep.
Something happened. Like, man, imagine. I mean, I'm thinking, I'm looking at your pictures. I'm like, oh, she's doing good. I'm looking at you working out in the gym on TikTok. You
Yep.
know, I'm like, man, she's doing good. I'm so proud of her. But I didn't know behind the scenes it was just way more going on. So I just want to let you kind of explain what you were going through. What happened?
Okay. Well, so in that whole process, of course, I'm gonna give props to everybody who I met along the way that helped me. Like, I was in programs, I was doing stuff. Of course, I was doing my own research in order to get in contact with these programs and all that. So I was in a transitional housing situation, and we had all of these people. We had counselors, we had budget coaches, and all that, right? And so I had got me a job, a nice job, working
And
for
wait
the
a minute,
company.
these programs don't necessarily exist in Atlanta, do they?
They
Do
do, but
they?
it's like so many people here that it's like hard to get into. It's
But you
really
were
hard.
able to be a lot more successful because you use a certain thing, and I want people to be aware of this thing that made you decide that you should come to Texas.
Okay.
Was it? Yeah. So I want you to talk about that.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'll start from I guess, me and my children's father, we were going through it. And I don't know if I should get too deep into the details because we cool now, but I just felt like just my family and him, I just felt like I had to get away. So what I did was I just sat with myself, and I sat and I talked to myself, and I, went back into all the things that I learned, like through like the 10 years that I became like spiritual, that I've become aware of myself. And I got a journal, and I just started writing everything that I knew to do to manifest the life that I wanted, or to manifest my next step to whatever I needed to do to get into a better situation. And so I got introduced to astrocartography. And so there's a website on Google. If you just search up astrocartography, I know a little bit about astrology, things like that, because I just dibbled and dabbled into a lot of stuff trying to find my way or whatever. And so I looked into astrocartography, which is basically it uses the locations on the map, and it ties it into your birth chart, and basically it'll tell you the best place, like the place where you will the best place for you to be, the best place based off of your birth chart, the best location for you to be. And so that's what I did. And there are multiple locations, and I figured I didn't want to go too far because I didn't know what was what, but I know that there I have a moon line in Texas, and I just read it. I didn't really know what that meant, but I just read the paragraph, and
Mhm.
basically it just told me that I would be successful there. I would get into in tune with my emotional self. I already knew things like that as far as the moon goes, like emotional well-being and things like that. But it did tell me, it told me that once I moved to Texas, that I would never have an issue with anywhere to live. And so I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to Texas. That was a thought before to go to Texas. My intuition was telling me that, but I needed something concrete in my mind. I know my ancestors and spirit guys like, girl, we be telling you stuff. I be like, I need to know, like, I need to see it on paper, y'all. Like,
Right.
so because I had so many instances where I had to second guess myself because my intuition would tell me one thing, but my parents and then the people around me was telling me other stuff, and this caused me to second guess myself a lot, and I'm still growing out of it. But so this is why, that's why this had to happen. So I looked that up. It told me, Texas was like a good place for me to be, specifically in Dallas. And
So
so
was that before or after you contacted me? Did you find
this
that
was
out after?
before. This was
Oh,
all before.
wow. So you looked that up, then all of a sudden, because you met me in a chat room. Remember, it was a girl that was on.
Yes, I remember exactly what happened, and that's why I
Man,
felt so
tell
confident
tell them
today.
how that, because it's
Okay,
crazy how this happened.
so I mean, like along with that, right? I was meditating. I started looking into meditating with frequencies. So I started looking up the frequencies that correlate to each chakra. And so I started mixing them up in one ear and the other ear. And I found out that was binaural beats. I didn't know exactly that's what that was until, I mean, I knew what binaural beats were, but I didn't know you can create your own binaural beats because,
You can? I didn't know that. Yeah, that's
yeah,
something.
you can,
You,
there's a, hmm,
I've been trying to do that because I need to make a YouTube with that, a website about doing that.
the trick is because you have two different sides of your brain. The
Uh
trick
huh.
is to put different sounds, different frequencies in each ear.
Oh, okay.
So I can't remember exactly which frequencies, but I was using, I think I was using like root chakra and like maybe like a solar plexus. It's different frequencies. Off the top of my head, I can't really say, but you can look it up. Like it's different, it's frequencies that correlate to your chakra. So I think I had, different frequencies in each ear. I was meditating. I came up with a affirmation. I wrote it out, just basically this is what I wanted to feel, because you have to get your thoughts and your feelings to feel what you want to feel. You already have to be there in the present to get to that specific future that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was doing. And I was doing that for 2 weeks. It took all of 2 weeks. And I was doing that, whatever. So when I figured out I wanted to go to Dallas, I was on that girl's live. I can't remember her name. But I
It was a
remember
girl from
that
Atlanta. She was in a
she
hotel.
was in Atlanta and she was going through a similar situation. Except for I think that her mom had did something to get her child taken away from her. Something like that. But I know
Yeah.
that she was saying her mom was like evil and stuff like that. And but I just knew that it kind of felt like we were having like similar situations or whatever.
Right.
So I, connected with her, and then I'm in her comments. I'm like, girl, she on live, and this is just a random girl that I saw scrolling on TikTok.
Right.
And so I
Me
go to
too.
her live, and I'm typing to her, and then I see this woman in there talking about come to Texas.
Right.
They can help you in Texas, and I was like, okay. So I was like, what's going on? I said, hey, and that's when I reached out to you. And I was like, hey, I need help. Can you help me get to Texas? And and then basically I think we got on the phone. I remember I was in the library and we got on the phone, and I know you was a little skeptical because I'm a stranger and I'm a little skeptical, but I'm just like, this just feel like it's falling right into place for me. This how
Right.
manifestation works. So I'm just like, okay, well, and from there, I know you sent me some money, you helped me get there, and next thing you know, probably like 2 days later, I'm in my little red car with the freaking check engine light on.
Right.
Okay. And I filled it up, and I'm telling you, what's crazy is before I even left, I had accidentally ran into my sister's car. Like the crazy part is I had got insurance because I didn't get want to get on the road without any insurance. I bought insurance that day. The next day, I'm backing out because me and my mom had got into an argument or
Hmm.
something, and I'm just like, and I'm backing out. The car was not paying attention. I ran right into my sister's car,
Right.
and
You
then
got
everything
scared. You didn't know
just
whether you should do it or not. You're like, maybe that's a sign.
I was like, what the hell?
Maybe
Because
it's a sign.
I was on my way to go to Plato's Closet to sell some clothes to get some extra money so I can make sure that we made the trip. But I think that was the universe's way, God's way of being like, you need to go. Because you need to go. Because I'm talking about as soon as I hit my sister's car, I told her, and then all hell broke loose.
Mm.
All hell broke loose. I had to hurry up and pack all my kids in the car, and I went to my really good homegirls. My sister, she like my sister. I went to her house and I was like, girl, we gotta spend the night. We gonna get on the road in the morning, whatever. I think about 4 o'clock in the morning, we head all the way to Texas.
Hmm.
And the whole time we driving, filling up, stopping, going to get some food, getting back in the car, driving. We probably stopped like 5, 6 times. Okay.
Right. Have you ever driven that far before with your kids?
Never, never. I drove that whole way 12-hour drive, no sleep, no nothing. I didn't stop. We stopped to get gas and food, but that was it. My adrenaline was so crazy. And I made it. I all the way there. All the way there. And the crazy thing is, as soon as I stopped in front of your house, you remember what happened?
Yeah. Your
My
car broke
car,
down.
my car broke down. It would not start. And I was just like, that's crazy. The whole time we was going and going and stopping and going, my car didn't stop the whole time. But it stopped right there in front of your house. And I was just like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's crazy that you got all the way. You drove 12 full hours,
Yeah.
stopping, stopping, and stopping, and that the one last stop, that car said, "Chitty chitty bang bang."
Yep.
You know the car, chitty
It
chitty
was
bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. You know what I'm saying? That car just boom, and so
I was just
it,
like,
and it wasn't even just the car. It was just even driving in the car for 12 hours with two twins and two boys that
yeah.
are preteens. Well, one's a
Yeah.
preteen and one's like just that had to be something very, very I mean that takes a lot of patience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
So
lost it a few times. I'm just like, guys, wait. But we made it. We made it. And
yeah, that's Kiana.
yeah.
That's our set saying. Is that
Yeah.
Kiana?
Hi, I said.
Wait, my camera. I got the different camera. You gotta come over here. I think.
I'm trying to get my charger together.
She, yeah, she right there. Let's say hi. Say hi, Kiana. Even though.
Hi.
Say, is that Kiana? Yeah. So we're doing an interview out there.
Hey.
But yeah, so when you finally got there, and like I said, the one thing I wanted to say is you were so resilient and hurrying up. Like I've helped a lot of people, but like I said, you were probably the most. I mean, you're a Leo, aren't you're a Leo, and I'm gonna say shouts out to the Leos in the
Yeah, I'm a
house.
Leo.
Yeah, because they don't play when they come. When they come, they take care of the objective.
Okay, gang.
This is Sugar Love. Sugar Love, this is my friend Key. We've been trying to get her on. She told me I was gaslighting her because like the last time she was supposed to come, I don't know what happened. And then I said, well, if you don't want to do it, then forget it, damn it. That's what I just sent her the letter. Like,
Oh,
early. I was
how
getting
dare you talk to us like that? Leo gang gang. How dare
she
you?
was like, don't be you're gaslighting me. So she said, come on, I said, okay, come on, let's do it, right? So we just got over the technical difficulties of everything, and now everything's working out fine. We just
So
started.
yeah,
Yep,
I'm
yep,
late
yep.
to the party
Everything's
because
good.
I had to take my a grandma nap, so I am late to the party. I am so sorry.
You're not
But
that late because we
Welcome,
just started
welcome.
probably about like maybe really going about like maybe 10 minutes ago because we were having so much technical difficulties.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
them pet grandkids of mine. Woo,
So
thank
like yeah, so the only part that you missed is like her trip down, coming from Atlanta, making
oh
it down to oh, did we lose your picture?
No, but I'm here.
Coming
I'm
no.
here. I'm on my way to the store, y'all, to get a charger. My charger want to act like it don't want to work, but you know what? I'm not gonna let that stop me. We gonna do this on the road, okay? We good.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we make sure we got a charger. So
Yep,
we
yep,
were
yep.
talking about driving down, like how we met. We met on TikTok in a chat in the comments, and she was saying she had did a lot of cartography to figure out where she should be because she wasn't making it good in Atlanta, going through some things with her child's father. Then she decided, you know what? I guess based on that cartography, it said Texas is the place to go. She saw me in the comments saying, "You need to come to Texas." To another lady, and she contacted me and said, "What's going on in Texas?" And so basically, I was like, "Well, yeah, there's like all these programs down here. You know, they'll hurry up and get you into a place at least in a couple months. You know." And so
Hmm.
I helped. So I helped her come down, gave her the money to be able to make it down to Texas. And she was talking about how her car already had the check engine light in it, and so by the time she finally made it in front of my house, her car she made it right in front of my door, and her car stopped working, right in
Yep,
front of my.
yep.
So that's where we are in the story.
That's how it happened. That's how
So
it happened.
and I was giving her props on how resilient she was because after that happened, the next step was we put her in touch with someone who could fix her car. She got the money to fix her car. She took when she got her car fixed again. She went to get into a shelter. She was only at my house for 2 weeks. She didn't
Hmm.
try to sit around and wait or nothing. She hurried up and did what she had to do. That was one thing that surprised me out of everybody. Some people try to wait or take
She's
their
a
time.
Leo, okay? She's a Leo. What do you think?
Yes, a lot of fire. A lot of fire. I do not be
What do you
playing.
think? We is not gonna sit around and have nobody like we're very thankful, but we is not gonna sit around. We just have a certain feeling about that, and we have to try to make it some way somehow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Technically that's what life is about,
So
and we can't preach it to people if we don't do it
Yeah.
ourselves,
yes, and
right?
so
But
that was what amazed me about her. I said, man, there's so many people without 4 kids that would have sat on that I helped out that sat around, but she got 4 kids and she was not playing. You know what I'm saying? And then and listen, she not only did she do that, she went into a domestic violence shelter. Go ahead, and she was going through hell at this domestic violence shelter.
I
Tell
I,
them the
I,
things.
I
Oh
I
Lord,
know
you
it's
just
her
reminded me. I
interview.
tried to put that in the back of my mind.
But
I done.
tell them how that domestic violence shelter, how ridiculous it was. Go ahead, child, because
Woo, which
I'm
story you
so
want me to
busy.
start with? I mean,
Start
geez.
wherever you comfortable.
Right, go ahead.
Woo. Um. So she's. I know in a situation. Um. There's this woman there, and this woman, for some reason, this Christian woman, she's a Christian, and this lady did not like me. And I came in there. I was just like very distraught. Okay, like I wasn't really saying anything. Like talking to people, because remind you, we are in a domestic violence shelter. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get this charger really quick. and he's taking me to it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. Quick
Okay.
intermission.
Well, I can tell a little bit of the story. So she went to a domestic violence shelter,
You're
and
not supposed to, DJ.
I'm not supposed. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, this is her interview.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient.
Play a
Then
song. Play a song. Play a song.
okay,
A
all
music
right,
break.
okay. Hey, Lakeisha, how's it going? Your phone is
Okay,
low,
hold on.
and there's an echo.
Is that better?
You sound like you're far away from your phone.
Okay. I'm gonna probably drop down and then come back up.
Okay,
Okay, bye.
and there's an echo too.
Okay.
All right, all right. Let me play a song. Let me see. I'm gonna just play the No Short song again.
End of the stick anymore. We ain't taking,
Should be
taking
jumping back up.
no
Listen, this has been the technical
And you
difficulties.
know what it
Uh,
is.
I don't know what's
Taking
going
care of
on.
the kids, and we ain't taking no shots. Man, you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop
Is that
playing
better?
with me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. When I'm sitting in my truck. When my truck start up, it let me know if it's an echo or whatever. But hello, everyone. Hello, Sugar Love. Hello, DJ, and hello, chat. I love you guys.
Hey, hey, how's
Darling.
it going?
You're supposed to let the song finish. It's a music
Oh
break.
no, I was. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Love.
Stop playing with me. Oh, stop playing. We ain't
Guys, I'm
taking
trying
it
to
no
put the mic
more.
up.
No
Genesis, put me on mute because my
more.
phone's not doing it.
We ain't taking no shots. We're taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no grooming and lying in it anymore. Taking care of the kids, and we ain't taking no shots. And you know what it is. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Oh, stop playing. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking no shots. We ain't taking it no more. No more. We ain't taking no no, no. We ain't taking no no shots. We not taking no shots. We not taking it anymore. Not taking it anymore. Not taking no shots. Not
Let's see.
taking no shots.
All right, we're back, and we're back. Now, you're so. I don't want to get into van life, but I see your van. It looks cute. I like the lights and stuff. Oh, your sound. She got to get her sound back going. But this is actually the van that she does her van life out of right now. Again, if you guys don't know who the people that are here, this is Kiana, Key, aka Pretty Hot Butterfly, aka the Wandering Chrysalis.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
There we go. There
We
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 go.
good now, y'all. See,
Okay.
y'all see how my
Yes.
life is chaotic. Chaotic. When I tell you this is me every day. I just found out what a type B personality was, y'all. If y'all know what
A
that is,
type B.
that's yes, you got a type A and you got a type B.
Okay.
I'm type B. Okay, we back.
All right. So where were we in the story? We were in the story where you go into this homeless, not homeless shelter, domestic abuse shelter, and you start going through he double hockey sticks the moment you step foot in there. And I wanted to give people example of like some of the things that they were putting you through as a single, because I don't think people know how these shelters really are. It's
Yeah,
not
no.
it's not all about helping. It's really a mess. But go ahead.
Some of them help. I was with some programs that really did what they were supposed to do, but this one in particular, none of the staff were trained to deal with women who were in emotional distress. Right? Um, they took everything kind of personal, and my big thing was you're dealing with women who've been abused and traumatized and gone through a lot, and they're bound to have some type of emotional reaction to you, to anything, just PTSD, just all around. And if you're gonna be in that type of situation, you can't really just do it for a check. You really have to care about these women. And so I ran into so many individuals who didn't really care. They didn't care about anything that I was going through. Um, so that was as far as the staff. Um, that's what I dealt with them. Can y'all hear me?
Let's talk about some
Okay.
of the
Just
rules
making
and
sure.
how they kind of kept you in a situation where you were almost always facing getting kicked out of the program every 5 seconds. Or
Yeah,
little
so
rules that they had.
yeah, so I have four children, of course, there was really no me time per se. Of course, in the shelter, how it was set up like a house. It was a house, and each family had their own rooms, and there were some women who had to share a room. Um, I had my own room because I have four children. It was five of us in the room, and it was things like, say for instance, if I left my children at the kitchen table eating, there's cameras everywhere or whatever, but I don't trust that. But still, if I left my children at the table eating and I went into the room to grab something and they saw me do that, I would get written up, things like that, because it's kind of like you're so used to living a normal life that, and you don't always have to have your children like this all the time. It got to a point where it was just, it felt like a prison almost. It felt like a prison. Like I couldn't really move around. And if you ask any mother, just constantly having to be just kind of just in that vicinity of, like, always just in that mothering energy, um without any breaks, it does take a toll on your mental health. um and so it was like there really weren't many, like, if I was in charge of that situation, I would have at least the workers watch the children for like an hour or something to give the mothers a break, but it was nothing like that. There was a curfew. If you were like 5 minutes past the curfew, you would get put out. And I do understand these rules, I do, from their standpoint, but there was really no wiggle room with a lot of things. um there was really no wiggle room. It
Well,
felt
I
like
mean,
you
I
were
just wanted to give an example, like going to the bathroom. What is that like? Say your
um
son has to go to the bathroom. Can he
my
just
son
get
has
up
to
and
go to the
walk to the
bathroom.
bathroom?
No, my son, he can't get up and go to the bathroom. I would have to take all my children. Okay, I would have to get all my children up from where we were at and put them in the room and take my other child to the bathroom, or just take them all to the bathroom at once, which again is understandable. But at the same time, if you're not used to that, it can be, it's like threatening to put me out on the street because because of little simple stuff like that, I didn't really understand that or quite agree with it. So yeah, it was a lot of rules that were put into place that almost seemed like um, that's what they wanted. After your time was up there, I think they only got paid for you for 3 months, and if you were there beyond that, they would do everything they could to make sure they put you out. Every little thing, any little thing, because I
Yeah,
got put out.
right. It was hard to find places. The vouchers that they would
Yeah.
give were kind of hard to find places that accepted them and
Yeah,
things like
because they were providing housing for a year, which kudos to them, but they weren't taking into account of the rising rent prices. So say for instance, they would only put out maybe like I would need like a 2 or 3 bedroom, and I think it was only like $1,100, and I'm like I can't find that. So it's like if y'all want me to get out, but I can't find a apartment or anything like that for this rent. And so it was really difficult. It was very, 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 very stressful. Like they were helping. Like I mean that is a blessing to find somebody who would pay for your rent for a year. But it was still very stressful because you were faced with, if you don't find anywhere to stay, we're just gonna put you out. And so it was like shit, like. So yeah, that was a big situation for me. But eventually I did find somewhere. I found a transitional housing, so I wasn't able to actually find a place to stay. I had to go into a transitional housing, which
Can I
meant,
ask you a question before you
yes.
go there? Now, being in that house, right, and the purpose of your going there is because of your situation. Do you feel like that sort of kind of make women's psyche even worse?
It
Because you
can.
just left a bad situation and you thinking that you're going there, they was going to, at least be at least pleasant to you. Did they like offer you therapy? Like for them to act like that, it's like you're not healing. They don't you're still not healing because you're worrying about everything they're gonna say. And it's just like you just left out of a relationship doing something like that. Now it's getting done to you by the system.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If you aren't mentally equipped to handle just like constant, and who is mentally equipped to handle constant abuse, right? But it's like at a certain point, just depending on how you grew up, you kind of get used to it. But I mean, I wouldn't blame anybody for snapping in that situation because I was right there. Like I had to
Hmm.
continuously utilize the things that I've learned. I've taught myself a lot of mental regulation things. So
Hmm.
I got through it. But a lot of people, they don't know what to do and how to self regulate. So they
that. You know
snap.
what? There's also another thing I wanted to also point out that the crowd does not know. So she has two boys and two twin. What, four? How old were they at the time? 4 and 5. four
They were
years old.
5 at the time. I think they just
5 years
turned
old. 5-year-old twins. So so 5-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, and then you have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old, or 9-year-old or 13.
They were, how does he? They were like 11 and 10 and 11, I believe, at the time.
So, yeah. So
So
and
yeah,
so and the 10 and 11, the boys that were they kind of were giving you some pushback a little bit. You were kind of getting
yeah,
into it with them the whole time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she's getting into it with the kids. She's trying to manage the 5-year-old, and then these people are over here making it hard for her on top. She's got 4 kids trying to do it.
Right.
And I want to
Right.
show you the resilience that it took that she did.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But
And
now
not
when
only,
I was into what you were saying, we were into what you were saying.
Go ahead,
I
continue.
thought you was waiting. I thought you was saying something. Okay.
Mm.
So, where was I at? I mean, not even just the
You was
staff.
like some of the women could not take it because they wasn't mentally
Yeah.
there, and some of them right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like even the women there, they would antagonize the other women because I was like bullied by an older woman. I think this is where I stopped at. I was bullied by older Christian woman, and the reason why I'm putting emphasis on that is because she would walk around the house with her headphones in, just singing gospel music and just kind of like outwardly just praising God, you know. But on the flip side, she was extremely evil to me for no apparent reason. And when I got in there, I was just tired, mentally drained, and I didn't really speak to
Mm.
anybody. I wasn't in the mindset of, oh, let me introduce myself to everybody, because there were like other women and they kind of like clicked up. So it was kind of like when you came in, it was, I guess you were just supposed to just be along with them. But I guess whenever they saw that I was like separating myself from them. And it wasn't
Mm.
personal, but I'm assuming that they took it personal, because if you're not emotionally intelligent enough to understand what somebody else is going through, then you're more than likely going to take things personally that aren't personally targeted towards you. So that's what I'm assuming is what was happening. So a lot of those women in that group, they didn't like me, you know, and they outwardly would say that to me, you know. And so this woman in particular, um, I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I think I was mopping or something, and she had a mop bucket, and she came through the kitchen and was like just fussing at me. I can't even remember exactly. It was so crazy, but she took her mop bucket and pushed my mop bucket out the way, and I'm just like, what's going on? And she was just like, you know, and then from there, me and her just started just bickering and bickering and bickering, you know, and she would be like, you need to control your kids. I'm like, ma'am, they're children. What do you want me to do? Like, they're young children. They want to play. They want to talk. They want to laugh. You know, I'm doing the best that I can do, as a single mother with 4 children in this situation. So I don't, you know, it was just very, just a lot of, animosity in that space. It was a very, very, very dark energy in that space. And yeah, I mean, if you're not equipped, you will probably go crazy. You know, you can probably go crazy. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I got through that part. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
So
we
you
can
got
hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
so once you
So
got through that, what happened? Go ahead. You can continue to talk. You don't have to take any breaks and wait. You can just go ahead.
okay, I didn't know if y'all was gonna try to ask me some questions, but
No, we will.
okay, so I guess, you know, once that happened, I can remember something specific. We were having like this like group counseling session, and we were all kind of just like talking, because we did have some women who just graduated. Um, they took this up as a profession, because the women who were there, I don't think that they actually knew what they were doing. I think they were just there because it was a job. But there are some women in there. They just graduated. I'm assuming they got their psychology degree or something. And we had like a little round table, and we were talking, and we were just speaking about, you know, um, just being aware of what other people are going through and things like that. And this girl just outwardly said, like, yeah, when I first met Kiana, I did not like her. And I'm just like, I barely said 2 words to this girl. Up until that point, I haven't even spoken to her like that. You know, she just kind of heard me speaking to somebody else, but she basically just outwardly said she didn't like me. And I was just like, well, why? Like, I didn't even understand what was going on, but that was kind of like what the energy was, because naturally I'm just like such a, I'm a I'm a light person. I'm a light being. But I also kind of refer to myself as a shadow worker, just unintentionally, because the way that my DNA or birth chart or whatever is set up, I trigger people, but it's not on purpose. It's just more so like I shed light into their darkness.
It's a Leo
And
thing, girl.
yeah, I shed light into them, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
really necessarily mean to, but I've learned that I can only be friends with people who are confident in
Mm-hmm.
themselves, who are sure of
Mm-hmm.
themselves. If you got any question about who you are, I can't be your friend, because you're gonna always take anything that I do personal. And I'm just like, I'm just being me. I'ma
Mm-hmm.
shine regardless.
Mm-hmm.
My literal planet in my zodiac is the sun. Like, the sun gonna shine if it's too hot, too
Mm-hmm.
bright, it don't care. And it's not doing
Yeah.
it because it don't like you. It's doing it because it's the sun. It can't help. It's the sun. You know what I'm saying? So put some
Right.
shade, put some sunglasses on, some sunscreen, and just go about your business. Like, but like, that's really just me. You know. So And yeah, it's that's been like a something that I've been dealing with my whole entire life, and I didn't quite understand it until I started getting
Mm,
into spirituality. And I'm just like, I'm a light, a shadow worker, I guess, because I go into that them dark corners, baby, and
mhm,
light it up,
mhm.
and then people looking at me like, oh no,
Yeah,
because
you're a seer by nature.
yeah,
The
I
light
am.
see, yeah, you're a seer by nature. But how
Yeah.
did that resolve between you and that girl? Did it get
Um,
resolved?
the older woman, it never got resolved. She was still actually calling people who was in the shelter and just trying to figure out what was going on. She was just a bitter old woman. But the other girl, me and her actually became really cool. We actually became friends to the point she
Once
was
the
inviting me
lady
to her
left,
house.
huh? Once the old
Yeah,
lady left. Yeah.
yeah. She was like the ringleader. But once the old lady left, even before that, I had a home girl to come in. Shout out to Tony. I love you, girl. Me and her, we met, and just so happened she was like on like the same vibration as me. You know, like she walked in wearing her tourmaline and her quartz, and I was like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" You know, like, and we started talking, and then from then on, we was just locked in.
But let me ask you though, that when you first getting there, right,
Mhm.
and the children is there, what are their, like? 'Cause you got four different personalities going on, from what they have went through, and now they are moved, they're in another state, and now they're with you in this group home with all of these problems. Hey, friend.
Hey,
Hey,
my,
friend.
what's up, official campaign? Shouts out. Uh,
So, what like? Did it take a toll on them, especially the two older ones? Like did, and or they didn't understand what was happening? Did you talk to them about what was going on? How was it for them?
Well, I did my due diligence, and I did talk to them as best as I knew how, while still mentally going through what I was going through. I did speak to them. I talked to them. I let them know what was gonna happen. I laid it out for them, you know. And every step of the way, I was like, before we even came, I told them what we were gonna do. I said we're gonna go to Monica's house. We're gonna probably get into a shelter. We're gonna get our own place. It's gonna go just like that. And I need for you guys to just understand that I know it's a lot going on, and I understand that you know you may um, feel your feelings, but you know, talk to me so we can get through it together. You know, they did go through it really bad. Really, you know, and but I was going through it too, and it was just like we were just bumping heads because it got to the point where, as emotionally intelligent as I am, I wound up shutting down a little bit too. We it was really bad, and I think it has a lot to do with the environment that we were in. It was very, very, very stressful. So when I'm out there dealing with these childish adults, you know, and then having to kind of like maneuver strategically around them so don't nothing happen. And when it was time to come to my children, I was just like, okay, y'all, just take a bath, just get in bed. Like, and that's not the type of mom parent that I want to be, but it got to that point where I think that we all just felt it. And I mean, yeah, I did the best that I feel like I could do, but it was definitely some pushback between my older boys. My
Mhm.
youngest two, they didn't know what was going on.
Right. What?
I told them that we were going to the, I think I called it the happy fun place, because they just thought it was fun. They thought it was so fun. And I guess it was because
right at
that
the shelter. They fun having fun at the shelter,
they
honey.
was
It's the
having
fun
fun,
time.
baby, because I did try to make sure that they didn't really quite feel it. Like, I know that, because to be quite honest with you, I've never been a stable person due to my mental health, but I just got diagnosed in 2022, 23, something like that. I didn't know. I just thought that I was just a F up, you know, like I just don't know what's going on. But the diagnosis put a lot of things into perspective for me. But at this point, I was trying my damnness to make sure that everything stayed kind of normal. You know, yeah, we were in the shelter, and every time things would come up, I'd be like, "Look, y'all, this is temporary. We're gonna get out of here. I just need us to just stay, just hold tight, you know." And We would talk, and I would do my best to sit them down and meditate. But it even got to a point where I kind of steered away from my spirituality a little bit. It just got really hectic. But then once I started getting back into it, that's when a lot of things manifested and came into play for me.
Did
But
they ever come to you at any point like, I miss such and such, or I miss, like, because kids, even though mommy may be going through one thing, but they see, like, if that's their father, whatever, do that, oh, I miss daddy, or can I see daddy, or when I'm going to see daddy, like, how is them type of
And
conversations.
I'm not sure if people missed it that she fled Atlanta. So they it was she did it. She was it was trying to avoid being in touch with this guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And yeah. So like let's talk. And also like sometimes people would sabotage it. Their own kids would call up and it
Right,
was
that's why I'm trying to get to
yeah,
that part. Right.
okay. Y'all, just bear with me. Now, Monica, you might remember a lot more than I do, because, baby, when I tell you, a lot of that stuff has just went whoop, because it was so traumatic, okay? But yeah, so one of my sons did call his dad. I'm not even sure how he got what phone he got my phone.
That's
I don't know. But he called his dad because nobody knew where I was or anything. Nobody knew where I was. I changed my number. I did change my email, like everything. And so one of my sons, he got mad at me and called his dad. Now this wasn't the guy that I was like trying to get away from, but he called his dad
mm,
and told him where we were at. And his dad wound up calling um the I don't want to call him the abuser, but my other child's father, children's father. And so that's how he found out I was actually in Texas. But I had to kind of like play around with them. I'm like, I'm not actually in Texas. I stopped in Texas. I'm actually in California. Like they were confused still, even though they were very, 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 very confused. Um, but yeah. So my son got mad at me. He called his dad. And he was just like, we're in Texas. I want to come back with you. And my mom's being crazy. And because I probably was like, I was going nuts. I really was. Not on them, but just like my energy was very, very dark and very just gloomy. And just like I was really out of it. And I had very short patience with them. Where normally I would probably try to talk to them. It was certain things that I had to just nip in the bud because it would cause more issues than anything. I would have to go out and deal with these other people. So it was certain things where I had to be like, stop, put it down, don't do that. I had to become very militant. And the son that called his dad, um, he's a Leo and he's very emotional. And so he takes a lot of things to heart. And
mm,
yeah, so that's what happened. And my oldest son, he was just throwing. He's big. Okay, my oldest son is probably like he's probably like 5'7". He's 13. He's probably like 5'7", 5'8", but he's like big, like stocky. And so
mm,
he's been with me since I was a teen mom, 19, and I didn't always know what I was doing, and so I know he has a lot of aggression and anger, which is I
I had to
kind of
break up a few
understand.
fights. Like remember there was like actually about to be a fist fight at one point. Like he was kind of like bucking up a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, he would buck up at me, like boom. There was a couple of times where we had to get it, we had to get it popping because I'm like, you're not finna get 6 feet tall and think you can just run over me. Like that's not finna happen. So, there was a lot of times we had a little rumble or whatever, like, a couple times, whatever. But he's a very smart, intelligent. All of my children are very smart and very intelligent and very just wise, they understand what's going on, but
But
that
just say
high
that happens with
that
all
high
boys. All
side,
boys when they get their strength, they challenge the
I
system.
figured,
You know, that's normal. That's
yeah,
normal.
yeah. Yeah. And so I did have to wind up sending my oldest back with his dad. But I mean, that's further along in the story. But he's with his dad now, which I feel like that's where he needed to be. Because he was just getting too, he was trying to challenge me. And I'm like, I don't want to be sitting here fighting you. Like, that's not how I want to be. So, but yeah, it got a little crazy. And then once we started moving around, getting our own place, and everything started feeling a little bit normal, things started, fizzling down. I got a job and all that type of stuff. Now this we was in a transitional housing after the shelter. Well, first of all, I need to get into how I even got out of the shelter, and that was the crazy.
Yeah, they
Um,
wow. Yeah, it was,
yeah. So I was looking for a job because I didn't have a job. I think what I was doing to get money was doing graphic design. I was making ebooks for people. I was editing people's videos. I was doing a lot of like work like that, and I wanted to get a job, so I actually applied for the Cheesecake Factory, and I got the job while I was still in the shelter. And um, I can remember
You
my
didn't get to the
car.
trans. You didn't get to the other spot yet, right?
No, no, this was before.
Okay.
This was before I got there. This was a couple days before I actually got there. I had got the job, and I noticed that it was something going on with my car again. And because I would be like, I can't remember exactly what was happening. It was shutting off, and so I think I had somewhere saying, Monica, how did I get to your house? Oh, what happened? Oh, I actually watched my children because I had to go to my first day of work or orientation or something. So I had asked Monica if she would watch after them, and she said, yeah. So it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, we all get in the car, and I pack all of us in the car, and I'm driving along the highway. In Texas they don't have like shoulders on certain parts of the highway, so it's just the road, and then you got like the little concrete little wall on both sides, and there's no like shoulder to go onto if anything is happening. So I'm driving, and my car is literally, my radio is like going on and off, and I'm just driving. I'm like, what the, and it's like my car is struggling to stay on. And I'm like, what is happening? And all I could think about is my car shutting off. Y'all, this part made me cry so bad. You almost made me cry. But only thing I can remember is that I can think about is my car shutting down with me and all my kids in this car, and I'm like on the highway. I can't pull over because there's no shoulder, and I'm just like, all these cars is just passing me, and I'm like, I am stressing out. And my son, my Leo, he's in the front seat, and he's like, Mom, what's wrong? What's going on with the car? And I'm just doing my best to just stay calm. I'm like, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's just something going on with the radio. And in my mind, I am panicking. And thank by the grace of God, we make it to Monica's house. And so I'm like, okay, what the hell was that? So I'm just trying to figure out what was going on with my car. And I don't know what was going on with it. So, I was like, okay, well, let me just go. I don't know what's going on. But I think I tried to fix it under the hood and mess with the battery or whatever, to try to see if my cables was coming loose. I think that's what I did. And I just hammered them down and made sure. And I think we had to go to the neighbor's house to get a wrench or something. So I thought I fixed the car. I cut it on, and I'm like, okay, I fixed it. And I think as soon as I put it in drive and tried to or reverse and tried to back it up, it shut off, and I was just like, okay. So, so I go in the house, and I don't really like asking people for stuff. I be feeling like a burden. I think it's some childhood trauma stuff, but I go in the house and I'm just like, hey, Monica. And she's like, hey, what's up? Because she's still asleep. And I'm like, do you think I could borrow your car? And she's just like, yeah, you can borrow my car, it's fine, whatever. So I think I take her car and I go to orientation, and then I come back. And when I come back, my car still wouldn't start. And so I had to take Monica's car. Now I took my battery out. That's when we went to the neighbor. I'm getting kind of mixed up, but the neighbor came and took my battery out. And he noticed, y'all, my battery had a freaking hole in it. When a literal hole in it, to where if it tipped over, the acid would come out. Like, I'm just like, now how in the hell did my battery get a hole in it? You know what I'm saying? Um,
You think
so
somebody poked a hole in your battery, like one of them people that's at
I
the
don't
shelter?
That's what I
know.
was going to ask.
I but it's cameras right there, but I don't know because if I didn't say anything, then no, they wouldn't think to look back at the camera. But I don't know, y'all, because I'm just like, why a battery? You know, it could be anything under the hood. You know, I don't know. But yeah, it was a big battery. I mean, big hole in the battery. So I take the battery, I put it in the seat, and I drive to AutoZone or whatever. And thankfully, it had warranty on it. So I wound up getting the battery, coming back to the house, and I wound up trying to work on my car. um, and putting the battery in there. So by the time I got that thing in there, y'all, it was past curfew. And I knew it was coming past curfew. And I'm just like, I called them and I said, hey, something's going on with my car. I just came from orientation. I don't know what's going on with my car. Well, I said, I don't know what's going on. No, I didn't. I said, my battery's messed up. It got a hole in it. And I'm trying to fix it. And I'm trying to make it past curfew. And I was like, if I don't come past curfew, what do I need to do to give to y'all to show y'all that there was something wrong with my car? And so the lady was just like, just give us as much proof as you can. So I took the pictures of the battery. I took pictures of the receipt to show what time I was there. I was taking pictures throughout the day to show them that it was getting dark and my battery still wasn't in the car. Everything that I could possibly think of, and I emailed it to her. So so when curfew did come, I wound up calling and was like, well, it's after curfew. I just want to let y'all know that I'm just gonna get there as fast as I can. So I think I wound up leaving about 11, and I wound up getting to the shelter about 11 something, 11:30, something like that. And I'm thinking everything is fine because I talked to the lady. I said, so you got my emails and everything. Everything should be okay. And she was just like, yeah, everything should be fine. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm in there, and the next morning, I am in the room, and I'm just, chilling, with my kids. And I had two caseworkers come up, and my caseworker, and then like the child caseworker or whatever, and they both came to my room, and my caseworker was like, yes, we need to have a conversation with you. And whatever. She tried to make it seem like it was really light, and I didn't really have any red flags because I thought everything was okay. So I'm thinking they about to talk to me about housing or something like that. And so she was just like, she's gonna watch your children. She's gonna take your children into the playroom, and then you're just gonna come with me. And so I said, okay. So we walked back to the office because usually we would have like a case manager meetings or whatever. So we go to the back, and we having a conversation, and she was just like, so you missed curfew last night. And I was like, well, yeah, but I had all of the information that I needed to show y'all that there was no possible way for me to get back to curfew. Like, y'all wasn't gonna come and pick me up, and there was something wrong with my car. So I had to, do what I needed to do to get to where I was, to get here. I had to wait or whatever. So she was like, unfortunately, that is not a good enough reason for you to miss curfew. And I'm like, huh? Excuse me? Okay, say that again, And she was like, yeah, unfortunately, we are going to have to exit you in the next 24 hours. And I was like, you lying. Like, you lying. 24. I was like, I got 24 hours to find somewhere to go. And she was like, yeah. So at first I was like, let me talk to the manager. This is me. I'm like corporate. I turn on my corporate everything. I'm like, let me talk to the manager. Let me just whatever. So I called her. I mean, she calls her on speakerphone, and she was just acting like she didn't want nothing to do with me. She didn't care. She was just like, whatever. Just tell her. I heard everything she was saying. She was just like, it was none of her concern. She didn't care. And that's when I flipped. That's when I turned up. I turned up on them. I went off because I'm just like, and this was past my 3 months. I was there for 3 months. And so this was past the little 90 days. And I think at this point, they stopped getting paid for me. So at that point, they didn't care what happened to me. So, yeah. So that's pretty much how that went. I went off on them, and I was just like, you know what? Don't worry about it, because when people do me wrong, it always come back on them. It always come back on them. So I'm not worried about it. I look her dead in her face, and I was just like, you gonna see what happened to you after I leave here, because it never fails. And she was looking very afraid.
Mm,
I said,
mm,
yeah, you gonna see what happened. You go. So
mm,
I just like, I'm not worried about it. So I go into my room or whatever, and thankfully, thank y'all. Like I was in contact with the transitional house like a couple days before that, and they didn't have any space. And I think I wound up calling again, and I was just like, I need to. And I think I talked to one lady, and when I called again, I need to talk to somebody, and she wound up putting me through to a woman, and me and her got into a conversation. Basically, this was like an interview, and she was just talking to me, and she was just like, you know, I like how you carry yourself. I like how you speak. I want to meet you. So, yeah, that same day, right after I got the news that I was getting put out, I got a call from that transitional shelter. And that morning, I think the next morning, to the um I went to the place. We had the interview, y'all, and I had to tell them that story about how my car had broke down, and I broke down crying like in front of them and everything. And girl, so the next day, or that same day, no, the next day, that same day that I had the interview, like it was like around 24 hours after they told me I had to leave. I packed my car up. I think my children was at school at this time, and they told me that they were gonna approve me after I left the interview. And I packed all my stuff quickly and quietly, and put them all in my little car or whatever. And I don't know how I got there, because I know my car is messed up. I think I took a Uber or something. No, my car wasn't messed up. I fixed it, but it was still kind of messed up. So I drove there with all my stuff, and to the thing, and she was just like, and also we're gonna let you borrow our car as well, so you'll be fine. So y'all, I had a job, I had got a little temporary car, and I had a place to stay within 24 hours after they had put me out the shelter. And I was just like so amazed at just how the spirit was moving through my life, y'all. Like, I just, at that point, I think that that was like a moment for me to just never second guess myself ever, because
mm, mm,
based off of, like, the history, like how I move and things like that. I'm sorry y'all can't see me, it's getting dark, but based off of how I move and things like that, once I tap into my higher self, and I actually am intentional about what I need and what I want, it manifests every time. So it's like, this right here is setting the tone to never, ever second guess myself, as long as I know, as long as I'm intentional about what I want,
mhm,
and it
mm.
always comes through. So at that point, I was just like, okay, like this is teaching me something. So yeah, and it worked out. So at that point, I was at the transitional housing with my babies, and I got the video of where I had walked to get them from school, because we live walking distance. The house was walking distance, and up until that point, I think we had to walk. I had got them into the Boys and Girls Club, and when my car was having problems, we had to walk from the Boys and Girls Club to the shelter. Was probably like a 20-minute walk. And my baby son, my 7-year-old now, he was like 5 at the time. He was just like, he does not like to walk. He was like, when I walked up that day and he saw me, he was like, Mom, where's your car? You don't have your car again? I was like, no, we gotta walk, y'all. And he was just like, oh my God. Like, he was just really having a fit. So just so happened, the house and the Boys and Girls Club was like 5 minutes away, walking distance, 2 minutes away. And I walked past the house and I was like, guess what, y'all? And they was just like, what? I was like, we got a new house. And I ran to the house and I opened the door, and they was just like so happy. They was so happy, and I showed them their rooms and everything. Like, that was a moment. That was a moment. I was so proud. And I was happy at that moment. Like, that was a good moment for us. So yeah, that's what
Well, let
happened.
me ask you, because I want to go back because somebody asked a question. And he
Okay.
wanted to know, okay, when you were going through this, like before you even left, was there any relationship with your children fathers at any point in time? Could they have been left with any of their fathers, or because of your situation you had to take them all with you?
Okay, so now, like I explained before, it's stability has never really been my friend. It's always been a little challenge for me. Shout out to Saturn. Okay. It's always been a challenge. So I in 2018, when we had got into a physical altercation, um, I had all my children with me. Uh, this was like, and I met him, and in uh 2008, I met him in 2016, and then I got pregnant really quick, like maybe like 3 months after knowing each other. I had got pregnant, and then we found out it was twins, and so we just decided to keep them and kind of work through it or whatever. And so when I think they were like 11 months, they was about to turn one, and at this time, me having a mental health diagnosis wasn't really a thing. Nobody was really comprehending what was going on with me. It took for me myself to go to get figured out what the hell was going on. But at this time, I was probably having some type of episode or whatever, and we got into a fight. Well, he fought me, and I was just like, I need to get away from him. Like, and I was thinking like I didn't want any of my children to go through being homeless, so I did make that decision to send my two oldest boys to Detroit with their dad, and then I left the babies with him to go get everything together. So there was a point where I did leave them with him to go get everything together, and I wound up going to Tennessee. And I went to Tennessee because my mom had foster children at one point, and me and one of the foster children stayed in contact. And I told her everything that was going on, and she was just like, "Okay, well, just come to me." And so basically, I did the same thing. Except I don't think I went to a shelter, but I stayed with her. I had a car at the time, but the car, it's kind of like the same situation. It's a cycle. Um, I left. I got on the Greyhound because she actually sent me a ticket, And as I'm coming back and forth visiting my children, um, I wound up taking my car back to Tennessee, and I wound up getting a house. I was about to start school. I had a job. Like everything worked out to where it was how it was supposed to. And when I called this man and I was like, okay, I'm ready for my babies. But we're gonna have to come to Tennessee. They're gonna have to come be with me. I want them to be with me. And then he was just like, over my dead body. That's what he said. And I was just like, so at that point, I felt so like defeated because I didn't want to fight him, but I wanted my babies. So I was just like, so at that point, I gave up everything that I had in Tennessee, and I had to come back to Georgia, and because I wanted to be around my kids, and I've been fighting for my kids. It's just that I just never really been in that situation where I was stable enough to take care of them on my own, um, because of certain situations or whatever. And I think a lot of people use that to their advantage. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they could have stayed with him when I left to Texas, but I didn't want them to stay because from 2018 to 2022 my kids was being moved around and shuffled around and they wasn't with me, and that was just if like it was a large part that was missing from me the entire time. I couldn't focus. I couldn't do anything that I needed to do, because I didn't have my babies. I just felt like a part of me was missing. So I took them because I wanted them to be with me, because I'm like me trying to depend on everybody else, because I'm like it takes a village. It really does take a village, but um it's just that I was bumping heads with everybody around me, and it could be partially because of my mental health, but also because I'm around people who really don't understand and see my vision. Like I have goals,
Mm-hmm.
beyond what most people can understand. And me trying to include them into what I have going on, because I'm like, I need a team. I can't do it by myself. But the people around me aren't into what I'm into. They're not into spirituality. They're not into herbs. They're not into health and wellness. They're not into it. So it's like
I mean,
I
they're
can't
they're not
grow.
gonna understand you anyway because them are your goals, them are your dreams, and they're not the fact that they're not into what it is. They're not into what you're into, but that's where the bumping heads is at. Because at that point, it's like you're hindering me instead of helping me. So you have to cut off the fat, right? So that's where the
Yeah,
bumping heads. That's where the bumping heads coming at. I got you, sister.
yeah. It was
But
like they was
sometimes it's
hindering
not
me to try to
always
help.
mental health. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's not always. From what I hear, it's not mental health. It's just the circumstances that you're in. We are human. We do have breaking points. You know, I mean, where in them breaking points you could be going through. Of course, it might make you go through depression or anxiety or certain type of episodes because of the. Come on,
yeah,
you got your babies. You take your babies. You got to let them stay with their father. They're going back and forth. And then you're going through a lot of stuff. You're at that point. You're only human, right? And then you a giver and you trying to see out of everybody I give to, like, who does it for me. So that's another thing that's going on in your mind, like, who is there for me? I'm there for everybody. Like, what about me? Like, people
mhm,
think that you're always the strong one, you got everybody else's back. Now, who do I get the call? Like, who runs? I mean, thank God for that DJ. I'm glad you came across with DJ. But at that point, when you're going through that stuff, it's like, where are all the people that I have been there for? Who was there for me? And it's like you're in this by yourself. So that's probably where the I'm going at everybody comes in at, because if y'all ain't gonna want to help me, then just get up out my face, right? Bye bye. Right now, your attention span is really low.
yeah,
I ain't got no time to play with you. Goodbye. I get it. I get it. But from so far, you sound like a remarkable woman. You sound like a human being that's going through some things, and each obstacle that I'm hearing, baby, you're doing a daggone thing. I just wanted to let you know that right there. Sometimes it's not mental health. You're just a human being going through a lot of stuff. Just that's going to get you to the promised land. Well, maybe you're going to
yeah,
tell us about the promised land, but I just want to let you know. So far, I'm just so proud of your strength, though.
And I just
thank
wanted to
you.
guys to show you guys some of like her glow up. Just when she was in tech, her like how beautiful she was. Man,
She
look at her.
still is beautiful. What do you
Look at
mean?
her. And I'm just saying, I just wanted to show like how she still is beautiful. I'm just saying like I just want people to see how she was. Honey, she had the fly girl outfit, had the boobs out and everything like that. Honey, she was feeling herself,
We did
child.
not want to see no daggone Netta. You
I
messed us
love,
up with this.
I
we
love.
I don't
Yeah,
know
we
why
having
Netta's
to
on
use
her.
them viral videos to put
Yeah,
in my
Kev,
stuff
as
and
long
stuff.
as I was still here, you win. Watching it from beautiful to beautiful to looking at Netta bumpy face butt.
I think she had a viral. She had a few videos that went viral. Just her dancing,
Yeah,
Jack.
Well, but we didn't get to
yeah,
that part though, DJ. But you go, girl. You go, girl.
I just wanted to show, what I'm
I'm real
saying,
silly, y'all. I'm real
show her personality,
silly. I'm so
All right,
silly.
let's
Yeah,
take it back. Okay, now you're at the transitional place. You go to pick up the kids, and you're like, "Hey, we got a new house." You bring them in. You show them the house. Go ahead, sister.
yeah. So at that point, it was like some sense of normalcy. Like it was normal. We was in the same place. We had our own rooms. I shared a room with my daughter, my sons. The three of them shared a room. It was like a three-bedroom house, and we had it by ourselves for a couple of months, and then another family had moved in. But um, we was able to have freedom. They was able to run around the house, and I was able to go in the kitchen and cook when I wanted, go in the refrigerator when I want. It was just such a freeing feeling. And so this is around the time where I was able to start losing weight. A lot of stress had been lifted off of me. Um, and I was still working at Cheesecake Factory. Shout out to Cheesecake Factory, came through in the clutch for me. Great job. Actually, I should see what's up with them right now. But anyway, um,
But how long is
so
that stay? How
what?
long is the transitional house?
The transitional house, I was there for a year. I was there for a year,
Not
and I
it.
really got,
There's no cut off time. Is there, like,
yeah,
you
there
could be
there
there as
was a
long as
cutoff
you?
time.
Uh,
No, it was because it's this woman and she owns some houses. It's her program, and she owns houses, and she basically uses those houses to house women who've been through situations like me. Um, so I was there, for a year. I had got a job, working at home job where I was doing insurance claims. So that was really helpful for my pockets, and I wound up getting rid of my little red Jeep. Um, and so everything was like looking up. Everything was looking up. Everything was great, and so I was making money. I think tax time had came around, and I was doing little side jobs too with my graphic design business. I had t-shirts I think I was selling, and I was hustling on the side, and but there was a moment where all things just kind of felt off, and a lot of it just started crashing down. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like everything is going, but it still feels like it's this weight. And it was some moments where I was just laying in bed and I couldn't get up, and I would just be feeling down, and I just couldn't quite place it. It's like, why do I feel down? Like I have everything that I need and everything that I want. Like, what is wrong? What is going on? Like, and I would be asking myself this, why do I feel so depressed? And I'm like, is it because I'm not where I want to be? But like in my mind, I'm like, I know I'm headed there, and I
mm,
think that it was just my emotions and my everything was just all over the place. And I had a budget coach, and this woman, she would go. I would have to send her my bank stuff, my bank statements or whatever. And and so she would go through the bank statements, and we would make a plan, and do all this stuff, and a budget and all that, right? And so one particular time I sent her my bank statement, and she called me, and she was like, Kiana? And I was like, yes. She said, how did you go through $6,000 in 30 days? And I was like, what? Like I was like, I don't know, and I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember none of this, like nothing. And at this time, I had a roommate, and my roommate was reporting back to the our caseworker about me, about just I guess different things that was like happening, like how I was being, But long story short, the caseworker suggested I go get evaluated by a psychiatrist or whatever, psychologist, whatever. So I did, and then that's when they was asking me all these questions and things like that, and so that's when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, bipolar 2. And I use that terminology. Um, I don't like to label myself as that
mm.
because I know it's deeper. It's spiritual. I'm a empath. I can feel emotions, and I sometimes mistake
That's
them as
what your
mine.
that's what your main problem is at. So that would trigger your bipolar because you're
Yes,
feeling everybody else's problems,
else is emotion.
and then
I'm feeling
that's
everybody around me.
right. So that's triggering your bipolar because if people don't truly,
Shit,
I hate these fake empaths.
they don't
But
get it.
the real empaths is like if things is happening to other people, it to an empath it's like it's happening to you, like yo.
To
So
me,
it's like
to me.
you, right. So then now you're upset, but it ain't really you, it's really them, and now you ready to take on the world and you're trying to figure out why. Like, why am I going
Yeah,
at it, like not knowing that that's somebody else's problem that you picked up. So
yeah,
that keeps triggering your bipolar, because now that's why, I mean, hopefully now you know how to be sometime go incognito, like come out and play sometime and then go incognito so you don't pick up. I mean, but that's a, you're gonna have to learn. If you're not all the way through with it, DJ would definitely give you my number. I'm gonna help you with that, right? But
Yeah.
I totally get it, and it's never going to stop, right? Because you're our empath. So you
Yeah.
could be like watching
Yeah.
something. Next thing you know, you're ready to fight, and you don't know what the hell I'm ready to fight for.
Like, what the hell
Right.
is going
Uh,
on?
and
Like,
then
I'm,
and
so I have.
that go so that goes
Go
up
ahead.
into your family or whatever. But I got, go ahead, baby.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure that my grandma and my mom, they all like that. My grandma, all it's in the family, but nobody knows but me. And I'm just like, okay. But so yeah, and now that I think about it, I didn't start having these symptoms until this particular other girl moved in. But yeah,
What
so
what what
so
what were they
I
reporting
stay
back?
out.
Can I ask a question? Because you said you went through $6,000 in 1 month and you couldn't remember exactly what you spent the money on, or was it just that you just was just
Yeah.
doing stuff and didn't even realize that you had went through that money, or were you
Right.
aware of it?
I was
Like,
doing stuff. We was having fun with the children. Amazon, I'm buying herbs and I'm just, I mean, and this was, I don't think I was doing anything too crazy, as far as like, cause
But
I'm like six
that's the
thousand dollars in a
money.
month.
But that's your money
Huh?
though, right? And that's what you worked for, right?
Yeah, but see the program, the conditions. I signed this paper, right?
Okay.
I'm supposed to be on a budget. Which makes sense because I'm trying to budget your money, right? But like on the flip side, me as an individual, I'm like, this money gonna come. It's gonna keep coming, coming. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it looked like, but it's nothing for me to manifest some money right now. Like, I could get it. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But in a 3D, in the third dimension, you still dealing with these other people, these
so were the people that
NPCs
were
or
in the
whatever.
were the people in the house getting jealous because you were buying stuff? What were they going back and reporting to
Right.
the
Right.
caseworker? Like, why were they going back telling them about you, or were you
Um,
just erratic around the house yelling or whatever, or like going through mood swings or being antisocial or whatever?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, it was sometimes where I was being antisocial. I can't even really think about what exactly
See,
she was like complaining about, but it was like it was real petty stuff that she kept complaining. And I think this was her tactic to get moved into a house with another girl, because they were both more in cahoots than me and her was. This at this particular time, this girl was like she was a spiritual girl, but she was one of those spiritual girls that reverted back to religion. And so she was more tied into that. And so to me, like cause me, look, I would be having like candles and stuff around the house, like in my room, really. And she would like come to my room and she would see it and she'd be like, so she was really just scared of me because she thought I was a witch or whatever you want to
but
call it. I'm a
yeah,
magical
but
person,
on
but
the flip side, you're independent by nature, right?
hmm
So all your independence is being stripped from you, and they're asking you questions, and in your mind, I'm a grown ass woman, right?
woman.
And now they're treating you like a child. That's another thing that's pissing you off, right? But you have to
Yeah,
also go by the rules, right? But you're
yeah,
independent by nature. So who would think that grown people cannot stay in the same house and y'all doing children like little kids type of stuff, right? I'm a grown
hmm
woman. You're independent by nature, right? You don't like for people to ask you questions anyway, right?
yeah,
Unless you're cool with them. Like people you're not
hmm
cool with are not allowed to ask you questions. And then on top of that, they're looking into your finances, telling you how to spend, right? That is that is a lot on a Leo, right?
And that's stressful. Every time you go and
yeah.
buy something, you thinking, is this against the budget? Am I going to be in trouble
Like,
because of
oh
this?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, see me, I'm trying to build my life back up. I didn't have nothing. So I'm trying to get my clothes together. I'm trying to make sure my hair stay good. Like I'm doing stuff like to make me feel better because I'm feeling all, I'm around all these people and I'm picking up all their energy and I'm bringing it home to me and I'm thinking it's mine. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, I'm swiping my card. It's like what they call it, retail therapy, just everything to kind of just like feel something different to stimulate my dopamine and my serotonin. I'm like, this is a lot, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, on the flip side, because you got the third dimension and you got the spiritual realm and things like that. So I kind of understood what was happening on that level too, because uh they're trying to get you into a financial situation to where you no longer need to, get help. So if I'm only making a certain amount of money and spending $6,000 in a month, that look crazy to them. But to me, I'm like, y'all, like I'm a magical ass bitch. I can get whatever I need to get whenever I need to get it. Like what? That this is not making sense to me. So it was just like a clash between my spirituality and the third dimension. Nobody's understanding, and then everybody thinking I'm a witch and I'm doing spells on them. Like that was to what the other girl was saying. She thought I was doing spells on her, and she has some trauma from another situation that she was in where there was an actual girl actually doing spells on her. But I'm just like, girl, I don't think about you like that. Like, I don't do stuff like that. Like, why the hell would I do anything to you when I'm a Leo, baby? Like, I'm only thinking about myself in this situation when it comes to like, I don't care about you like that. So it's like I would
Don't
never.
tell it.
I don't do stuff like that. It don't make sense to me because I have my own energy. I don't need to feed off
Mm-hmm.
nobody else's energy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know it's people out there that do, because people out there done try to do it to me. Like I got stories about that, but well, baby, look,
But
so in that time,
so was you
like
spoiled? Was you spoiled because you spent that more? Like what
oh,
was the
there was a
outcome of that?
meeting. There was
God
a
damn,
meeting,
need it over your.
and they sat me down and was, and I'm conflicted because I mean I get it, but at the same time, like, hold on, like, but yeah, there was a meeting. They were talking about it, but then when they see my bank account and they saw that I still had money saved, she was like, "Oh," she was like, "Well, I'm like, yeah." I said, I'm not that. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about, what y'all think this is, but I'm good. Like, I'm gonna always make sure I'm straight. It don't matter what situation I'm in. Like, I always had a meal, a hot meal. I always had a bed. I always was good. You know what I'm saying? I always was able to take a shower. I'm not saying it's a brag, but what I'm saying is I got me. So it's like when these people was like trying to tell me how to do things, I'm like, no, but I do still understand that they're looking from the outside looking in, like, you are unstable. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm living this whole magical life that nobody can see. And that's only because I can see it. But I know other people can't see it because the only reason I can say for sure is that I'm not consistent. So once I get to that point, well, which I am, I'm thinking like I just gotta be consistent. Cause once things start building on top of each other, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get to the place that I need to be at. But the issue is that when I get into that mood, when my
You shut down.
bipolar acts
It's
up,
shut down.
everything is gone.
Yeah, it's
When I
shut
tell you
down.
I'm like a hurricane in this bitch. Everything,
But let me.
everybody finna feel it. I'm throwing away everything. I'm tearing it down.
DJ, no, I speak the same language. But let me ask you though, because of what you're going through, right? Now you left to get help, right? For you
Yeah.
and your kids, you're thinking that there's going to be a better place. At any point in time, are you angry that you're now put in a childlike situation because of this man? So, is there any anger there? Like, I wouldn't be going through this because of you, because I know you still will have to be sort of kind of angry at certain times because he put you in that predicament. So it's like you're still not getting no peace. And in your mind, you thought that, well, hey, they was going to be nice to me, they was going to help me, they was going to assist me, but then it turns into a freaking nightmare. So at any point in time, do you still feel that anger or any anger? Just bits and pieces
Um,
because it's because of you, Ninja. I gotta be sitting up here arguing with these people, showing my bank account, being tree. So go ahead.
Angry. I wouldn't say I'm angry because at the end of the day, I do take accountability for my actions. I chose this man. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
um, if I do get angry, most of the time I still have a little bit resentment towards my parents.
Yeah.
And not even
Okay.
them, not even them,
Oh.
but more so just like how me, like as a child, I was just this bright, gifted child where I was just like explore. I was very curious, and the people who I was, who I came from, they didn't know what to do with such talent. I guess I don't know, but they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know how to answer my questions. They didn't know how to think on the level that I was thinking on at such a young age. So I was made to feel crazy or delusional. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Um, and so that kind of stuck with me to where I had issues with my identity for a long time because I was gaslit. So that when I grew up, when I was growing up, I would have my intuition in the back of my head the whole time telling me, don't do that or do this and da. But I'm not listening to it. I'm seeking validation outside of me because the people who I grew up with didn't teach me to listen to my intuition. They taught me to listen to them and that they knew what was best for me. So that grew that type of energy just kind of stuck with me to where I didn't trust myself and that I would look outside for validation or, if somebody or something made me feel good, despite what I felt for real, I would ignore myself and go with that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I got to the point where I took accountability for it. So I'm not necessarily angry at him. He is who he is.
Right.
And I don't think he's not like a
Yes.
horrible guy, but he's like he has went through the same type of trauma, so I can't blame him because I mean, like he grew up a certain way, and I don't really blame nobody because all of this kind of stems from generation to generation to generation. You can only know what you know and what you've been taught.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not angry at him at all, but I try not to throw the finger at him. There are times where we get into it, and it's like if you didn't do this, if you didn't do that, and I'm like, this could have played out a different way if you did. But then he's like, but you did this too, and I have to think about it, like, yeah, I did react like that, and I caused him to react like that, but he caused me to react like this, and so it's like so I can't blame him. I can only blame myself, and once I'm in that situation and I'm angry or I'm frustrated and I'm not in control of what I do, I can't blame nobody else but me. So yeah, yeah. So do I forgive him? 100% no. Because I felt like his actions did lead to a lot of things that happened, but at the same time, I still chose that man. I laid down with him and had babies with him. So that's what that is. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. So, I guess we can get back into what was happening. Like after I got diagnosed,
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of stopped that in that story.
Mm-hmm.
When my caseworker had suggested that I go to the psychiatrist, that's when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and that's when I had told them, and then they were just like, "Oh, okay, so much makes sense." And so, like, even though I know that spiritually it means one thing, but in the third dimension on paper, and if you're uneducated or not an intellectual, you're not really knowing you're bipolar, crazy, psych ward. That's what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Everyday regular people not thinking, oh, this is a spiritual gift that needs to be tapped into more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I know that. And a lot of it comes from second guessing myself. Still, um not realizing how in tune I actually am and how juiced up I actually am for people to try to put spells on me and feed off my energy type. Like
That's
so
never
I'm
gonna
like,
stop.
okay.
That's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is. And so once I got diagnosed, it was just like I was really depressed about it for a long time. I was just like, because I didn't
Mm,
quite understand. Because remember, like I
mm,
wasn't into my spirituality like that. Because I was
mm,
so into like having to find a job and taking care of my kids and putting them in school. I didn't really have time to take care of myself and look deeper into myself. So once I did got that get that diagnosis, I was like just so distraught about it because I'm just like, so you trying to tell me there's something wrong with my mind and it's nothing I could do about it. I have to go on some type of medication. I'm like, that cannot be. And so
mm.
I was out of it for a while or whatever. And um time came for us to come from the transitional housing. And the crazy part is, because they had saw that I had spent that money, she was like, we're no longer going to help you find a place. You got to do that on your own since you want to spend money. But I think that bipolar disorders diagnosis helped me, because she realized, like, because when when you're manic, you're just
Yeah.
swiping. So
Mm,
I was like, yeah, so that's the reason. So I think they wound up helping me and sending me to an organization, and they wound up helping me find a place and putting me in an apartment, and and they paid my rent for me. So I was just, I manifested, to the point. Hold on, I'm echoing. How am I echoing?
not
Um,
really.
No, you weren't echoing. I was echoing because I was getting ready to say something to you. This is
oh,
Lakeisha,
okay,
by the way.
okay, go ahead.
But I'm echoing.
Hi.
So first of all,
Your
hi.
mic is real low, Lakeisha.
Okay, I'm trying to. I don't want to blast it. Can you guys hear me better?
No.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my mic, but okay, are y'all able to hear me at all?
No, are you in the car? If you
I am in the I am in the car, but let
I
me.
can hear her.
You can hear me fine.
go ahead, Lakeisha.
Well,
Okay,
now,
just hold on for 1 second. Hold
I
on.
miss that.
I'm trying to fix it. Just hold on, guys. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do
Well, while
this.
she's trying to get her sound together, I wanted to like see what the transition. Okay, once you got into the apartment, okay. Um,
Hello, can you guys hear me better?
now we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Okay, so it's
I'm
low on
sorry.
my end, but as long as y'all can hear me. So I first wanted to commend you. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to commend you on telling your story. I resonate a lot with your story. I actually tapped back in just now when you said people siphoning your energy. I was supposed to go to 2 events today, and when I tell you my energy has been zapped because my son said something out of the side of his neck to me, that I had to woosah and remember the new me. And I prayed a powerful prayer a couple of days ago. Satan is mad. I don't care. My family is mad because DJ Genesis and Sugar Love just did an interview with me about my life and my childhood trauma and my rape and domestic violence with
Hold on,
narcissistic abuse.
I'm sorry. I can't help that.
And so
That's my.
I understand what you mean about not being gaslit and not having an identity because other people was trying to tell you who you were and you weren't following your intuition. I want to let you know that your intuition is the
Oh,
Holy Spirit.
it's breaking up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm driving and I'm trying to. Can you hear me? Is it
Okay.
better? Wait, it
Yeah, go
might be.
ahead. Go ahead.
I can hear you now, so I'm so sorry,
Okay.
but you're gonna have to repeat
Okay.
everything you said because I cannot hear you.
Okay. What I was saying was, I understand what you were saying, how you were being gaslit and people were trying to basically tell you what your identity was when you knew full well at an early age what your identity was. That can split you in two and cause you to be
Yeah.
bipolar. I am on medication. I am diagnosed as being bipolar and schizophrenic when it's really not that. It's the people that are trying to siphon my energy and gaslight me. since this interview has went on, it's been what, a week, y'all, since we did that interview, the last interview, I guess a week. Everything has turned topsy turvy with the people who has wronged me. I don't care. What I care about is people like you and Genesis and Sugar Love in the chat, and everybody that's supporting us. You have a story to tell. You took a chance on your life and your kid's life, and you went and did what God told you to do. Whether it was by your birth chart or anything, God led you to those things so that you can get to where you needed to get, regardless of, like you said, when you told that lady when she kicked you out that program, I was listening the whole time. You gonna feel sorry for what you did, because anytime anybody touch a child of God, they gonna get what they supposed to get, because they ain't supposed to interfere with what God sent you there for them to help you with. Anytime God sends you anywhere, God has set people aside to help you. Understand that, baby. I don't know how old you are, but I'm about to be 50 in December, and I'm gonna tell you from because what I just went through today, had I not been listening to you, I probably would have booked a one-way ticket to Jamaica and left my family forever. That's the energy I'm on. Because nobody's going to gaslight me ever again in my life. Nobody's going to tell me my truth is not my truth. And if they didn't want to be the villains, they should have thought about that when they was doing what they was doing. So I'm just gonna say that I'm a mute might up or whatever, but I wanted to just tell you that. And like Shigala said, people are never gonna stop pulling from your energy. I was supposed to go and see my ex. He was a rapper, and some of his friends are Shy and Jurassic 5. I was getting ready to go see Shy, and my son's car broke down, and I turned around. That's because God didn't want me in that energy. But then also my son tried to say something out of the side of my neck, and I had to go pick up my other son, and I cried, and I said, suck it up, and you alchemize that. You alchemize that right there. And I let both of my sons know, if any one of them ever try that again, I will hop on a plane and y'all never see me again. And I mean it. And that I mean that for everybody in my entire life. I'm not playing these games. I'm about to be 50. I have work to do for the Lord. Do you think I got time to be worrying about these people? I need to be fasting and praying for you. I didn't even know I was going to talk to you today, but I went on a fast yesterday from no marijuana. Today I decided to break my fast because everything is going topsy-turvy, and I wanted to just smoke so I wouldn't lose it on nobody. Had I not went and smoked and my son said that, I would have put my hands on my son, and he's 25. Because who you talking to? Who you talking to? I raised
Yeah,
you.
these sons are something else, Kiana. You went through things with your son. Once you got to your house, let's get into that. Let's talk about moving into
So
the
I'm
new
a
house.
mic up.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate it. I love when people can like resonate and we can connect on that level. I love that because the amount of people that tell me I'm crazy and don't know what's going on, but then there's like this community of people that understand what I'm going through. It fills my heart so much because it keeps me going. Honestly, thank you so much for sharing. But yeah. So can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. I just gotta make sure now, cause I know it's going. This audio be going crazy. But, yeah. So once we got to the house, I just once we got to the house, there we had another organization come through, and they actually furnished the whole house for me. And I was very blessed, like like, and so I was feeling very euphoric, very accomplished, because I felt just covered, when I think about it, like I'm always covered because I have like that mustard seed of faith that they talk about. Like I always got that, and it always works out for me, even if I'm feeling just like it's the end of the world, I'm still holding on to that mustard seed, So, yeah. So I mean, we got to that point. We were, in the apartment, and everything was going good. In my own space. I make the rules. Like nobody can tell me nothing at this point. But then, as much as I did, as much as I went through, My sons, they were still kind of feeling like they weren't happy. And I didn't understand what was going on. I was like, we made it from, and every time we went into another situation and we went up, I I drew out the map for them every time. I was like, okay, once we got to the shelter, I said, okay, y'all, we came from Georgia. I said, I know it's hard. We in this shelter. When we left the shelter, I said, y'all, we came from Georgia. We went to Monica House. We was in that shelter. And now we in this place. I say, the next step, we're gonna be in our own place. And I've been saying this since the beginning. I say, I'm gonna keep my word to y'all. I'm gonna put us in the place. I promise. So, every time we move, so when we got into that apartment, I said, look, I told y'all we was gonna have our new place. We left Georgia. We came to Monica's house. We went to the shelter. We went to the transitional house, and now we in our own place. I said, now we are free, you know, and it wasn't sticking with them, and I was still kind of like shedding the energy from the old place. So I went into like a little hermit mode. I think at this point I had wound up taking the ADA accommodation for my job. Yeah, because I couldn't work anymore because it was like I was on the phone dealing with other people's problems, and I'm just like, I got my own problems. So uh, I guess I had to take a mental health break, and um, my babies, they still weren't happy, and they just kept saying, "You took us away from our family, and we want to go back home. We want to go back to Granny's house." And in my mind, I'm knowing that they're young and they don't understand what's happening. Like they don't know what's happening. They don't know the toxicity that I had to run away from. They don't know. And I'm just like, I'm trying to explain to them, but they don't get it. And so throughout my life, I I learned that the best way for anyone to learn something is just through experience. Because I can
Mm,
talk to them full in the face. I'm telling them full in the
yeah.
face. And I am not going to sacrifice my mental health for nobody. And I love
Mm,
my babies so much. And they young, but they boys. In this world, it's like I can't coddle you in this world.
mm,
That will harm you. That will harm you. It won't help you. So I was like, okay, my oldest son, I would ask him to do things, trying to clean up the house. Can you take the trash out? No. Huh? At this point in time, we already done tussled twice. And I'm like, so I'm about that life, and I already know how I go down. And then I just started getting to this point where I'm just like, I want to be more in my feminine energy. I don't want to keep fighting you, like physically, mentally, spiritually, physical, psychology. I don't know. I just can't keep doing this. And I fought so hard to get all of y'all together. And I'm just like, what is the issue? Why aren't you, like what's going on? And I'm just like,
mm, mhm,
I was
mhm,
just trying
mhm,
to put myself in his shoes, and I get it because I went through it, but I thought that because my parents thought that the more material things that they gave me, the more that I would act right. But I was hurting as a child, so I was acting out. I was fighting. I was cussing. I was so angry because I felt like they took a part of me from me that I didn't know how to get in contact with that part of me anymore, and I felt like I lost something. So I was angry, and I'm realizing this as an adult. But as a child, I didn't know. But I was very angry as a child because of that gaslighting thing that I went through as a kid or whatever. So I tried to be there for my son and understand him, and but at the same time I had three other children. I had the twins. I had to go to work. I had to make sure these bills was paid. I had to do this and do this and do this and do this and make sure everything was just. And then my son, I just felt like he was just acting so unappreciative. And I tried to reach him on a soul level. I'm just like, son, you seen what we went through to get here, and I wouldn't have took you from where I took you from if it wasn't like a harmful to you. Like I took you away from that environment for a reason. You can't see it, because he just had moved back from Detroit with his dad, and then he came back to me, and then that's when we went to Texas. Um, so um, I was just trying to get him to see, and he just couldn't see it. No matter what I said or what we did, he couldn't see it. So I said, okay, well, you want to go back with your dad? He was just like, yes. And I said, okay. So I let him go back with his dad. And the reason why I took him back from his dad, because I don't want to put anybody's like business out of there, but I just didn't like the conditions that they were living in. And I just felt like it was just not the right environment for me, because I always wanted to raise my children in a specific way, but
Mm.
it takes a village, and it seemed like I'm literally the black sheep in my family. You know, I'm the only one who is like into spirituality, into holistic health, and all that type of stuff. So I didn't really, I can't say I can use, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but as a
No,
young mom,
you're the light sheep of the family, not the dark sheep. You're the light
yeah,
sheep.
yeah,
Amen, sugar. Amen. And I take on the same thing. I am the light sheep. I'm not the black sheep. Praise
yeah,
God.
the light sheep, the light sheep, the light sheep. So I was just, I just got a different thinking pattern than everybody. And as a young mom, trying to do certain things and no one can see your vision, you don't really have nowhere to turn to. And, I was mad at God. I mean, I've learned a lot from then, but like as a child, I was really upset because I felt like I just felt like things should have been different. But as life goes on, I'm starting to understand why everything has to happen how it has to happen. But yeah, I was just like, I tried to reach him and I couldn't reach him. So, at that point, I felt like I lost my child. I was just like, but I'm like, well, maybe it's just something that you need to get from your father up there, and you're about to be 13, so I guess, go ahead and go back with
Mhm.
your dad. So he went back with his dad, and of course, he's wanting to come back now, but I'm not in that position to be able to take him now because I'm still on the mission I'm on. But yeah, so I let him go back. And then from that point on, everything just kind of just went like, like, even before that, I had to stop working my work at home job because both of them was having problems at school. So I would ride for my kids. Like I will, I know from the outside looking in, some people might not think that's what was going on, but it is what it is. People have their own opinions, but I quit my job and I started working at the school. They had a position open at the school. So I went to start working at the school, and and that didn't quite help anything. So that's when my son was like he wanted to go back with his dad. So I let him go back with his dad. And then around this time, like during this whole like ordeal, like after some time had passed, my twins was asking to speak to their dad. So I decided to kind of break no contact with him. This was like when I was in the transitional housing, but it's leading up to when we had got into our home. I tried to break no contact with him, and every time I would talk to him, he would cuss me out so bad. He didn't care. He didn't call to check on the twins. He didn't call.
Mhm.
He didn't like nothing. Like he didn't care. It's like he didn't care.
Mhm.
Like, but it was just so strange because I just wonder, like, you care so much, but it's like I'm trying to reach out to you. He was so mad at me to the point where he allowed his emotions to overpower anything. And I can understand like a father being upset with the mother for doing that, but I had my reasons, and like to this day, he refuses to try to understand where I was coming from. And even through that,
He,
I tried to make
it,
amends.
he refuses to take accountability
Yeah,
because you ain't leave for nothing, right?
Correct,
You didn't
sugar.
you
Correct.
you didn't just leave because he was the
Right.
nicest guy ever, right? Like you were so beautiful and you spoiled me, right? So it's a lot of count. It's like, and then on top of that, he's not saying like key things. Like he's still being mad at you instead of saying, you know what, I can understand. I'm getting help. Or I'm working on myself. Like he's still spewing that energy on you to keep you wherever your emotions is at. He's trying to still keep you locked there and bring you down. He don't know he can't keep you down, but he could try, right? But that's all because like it's sad. Oh my God, I feel for you on that behalf because, like I said, you're only human. You're trying. You got these kids, and plus the kids don't understand because they don't understand that's still their father at the same point in time, But always you broke the no contact, which it took everything in you to do that, right? Because
Yeah.
you wanted to like free yourself, but then you got these kids. So it's a lot of things going on, and you're doing the best. You're doing the best that you can. So now I'm feeling your whole story. I feel bad, but
Yeah.
Man, and at
I mean, it's,
and
you know,
here, did sometimes you feel sabotaged by your own kids, like by them?
no, they don't understand their kids, and that's still their father.
Right.
But no,
So
I mean,
that
I asked Kiana, how did she feel? Like, did you feel that way?
I wouldn't say sabotage, because I can kind of remember what it was like being a child, and you don't really understand the consequences of
right.
your actions. You don't understand what adults are going through. I didn't quite understand a lot of the things my mom and dad went through until I
Mm-hmm.
got to a certain age. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what allows me to extend some grace to them, but I
Yeah.
still want them to be accountable for
Praise
what they
God.
missed. I just want to
Yes.
say you missed something because I was the special person. Like, not saying I'm more special, but like
I
I
understand what
have
you're saying.
something, and there was something that I felt like that's why I was mad at God because I'm like, if I have this message, if I have this energy that I'm supposed to spread and share with the world,
Mm.
why why was I so why was it like, what I'm saying, like it was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was just, eh,
You
no
feel
one
like
knew how to
your
bring it out
goal
of me.
your
I
goal is
have the
your goal is
answer.
like 2 steps in reach. You're like, okay, we finally got the house. All right, now let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Can
And then
y'all
right
hear
when that
me?
happens, it's like,
I
you
can
Can
hear
y'all
know,
you.
hear me?
I can hear you, but I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
talking. Hold
I,
on,
I'm
like
sorry. Go ahead,
it feel
Judy.
like
You
you're
good?
like just in reach of your goal, and then right then it's like then other stuff. It's just feel like when it rains, it pours. Like, dang, I thought that I think I'm doing the right thing,
I
but
thought I was
now
doing the
they
right
want,
thing,
yeah.
No, I
and
mean,
they
she was
didn't feel
But you were doing
appreciative
the
of
right
it.
thing. You
right.
were doing the
You
right
were,
thing.
but the
You know,
thing
But
is,
it's like I had
sometimes
I have something to say right quick. I have something to say.
okay.
The reason why you went through that and you will continue to go through that is because the mission that we're on, we have to be prepared for everything. The people that God is going to send through our lives that we're going to touch and help, we're going to be able to be relatable to everything.
Relatable,
In the in the
relatable.
Bible, in the Bible, Paul, before he was Paul, when he was Saul and he had that meeting with Jesus on the road to Damascus, that's when Jesus changed his name after he went through the blindness and all of that. But that was why Paul went through all of that because didn't nobody want to fool with Paul. God told a couple of people to go to Paul, and God, they said, I ain't going to him. God, he gonna kill us. He killed Christians, ill Christians, and God did a mission because God knows that people are suffering, just like you and I suffered and was overlooked. Those people are gonna come to us. Those people are gonna hear your interview. This interview is gonna skyrocket. Mine, I haven't even looked at the numbers today, but it was at 2.6 thousand, and it's just been 2 weeks since mine. So yours is getting ready to skyrocket, and you're getting ready to touch a lot of lives, and that's preparing you for your mission. I understand you being mad at God. I was mad at him the same way, and I told him I'm very direct with God because that's how he wants us to be. If we can't be direct with God in reference, then who can we be direct with? Because all these other people that are walking in human bodies, they're meat suits, so they're not going to understand us, especially if they're not cut from the cloth of God in Christ. So that's all I want
Yeah.
to say. That's your answer,
yeah,
sweetie.
and
Mm.
no,
Praise God.
there's another answer because a lot of times too, the universe wants to see what you're made of, right?
Hmm.
You're a strong woman, right? Sometimes things is put there, right? Because the universe, the
Amen. Say that.
spirituality, it want to know. That's what I tell people all the time. Sometimes things happen. They want to see what you're made of, right? And that's how you structure your life, right? Because you are here to be a leader, right? So lead, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes and then you have to. you're how I perceive what you've been doing is you've been, even though they think they have been doing things to you, you've been controlling. You're controlling what's, like, you're taking control. They don't understand that they think that they're controlling you, but you're really controlling the situations, right? Because that's
Mm-hmm.
how you say you have to practice, like, you practicing your skills, right?
So
So
Like a Jedi or a
I want
ninja.
you're a ninja, right? We're
Yeah.
gonna
right,
call
so
you a
right,
cheated.
you're sharpening your knife there, right? Because
Look, y'all said
how
it now. Y'all said it.
right, so
Cheated ninja.
right, exactly. Sometimes you go through stuff, and like when you had said to me, which I'm a firm believer of that. When you say I'm really not mad, because I put myself, I knew who I was dating or whatever. So that means you have control, right?
Accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability and control, right?
Amen. Amen.
So she's not wallowing in it because she is in control. That's why he wants to call and do all that other type of chat, because he wants to. She's never going to relinquish control. She may go up and down, even if you're going to suffer in silence, even if you're going to go in that dark room. They don't know, boy, when we come back out that dark
Preach
room,
it,
baby.
sugar.
When
Preach
we
it,
come back
sugar.
out that dark room,
That's a
baby.
whole
Hey,
sermon right
but
there. Preach it,
Yeah, it's
sugar.
like
right,
a
but
slingshot. Just
right,
boom. It's
but they
it's
right,
it.
but
That's it.
he messing with the wrong woman right there, right?
Amen.
And then you also, you did a good move. Like, okay, like, you want to go stay with your father? Well, then go see how it's like, right? If you feel that, I can't explain to you what I'm going through. You want to see if the
Mm-hmm.
grass is greener over there, and the lady that you are, then go right ahead, right?
So
And
I
And
want
then
I've had to do
I
that.
want
I've
to
had
get.
to do that with my son. My older son, I had to do that with him, and my younger son too. So they
Yeah.
saw what it was about, and they came right back on home to mama.
Yeah.
I want to get into like what brought you into this lifestyle.
that's what I was waiting for. But
But
go ahead.
we're headed
Yes,
because the last
yes,
thing was is that you moved from that
yes,
place. So what was the
yes.
catalyst that made you move from the apartment back to Atlanta and then starting the van life? And how has that journey been?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So when I said everything just started going like uh once my oldest son left, I got back in contact with my twins father, and after everything that I've been through, I felt like so defeated. I really did, because I had to just tell him to. There were some things that were said on the internet, and it was like this. I felt like it was some people with pitchforks and freaking what them things called with the little light, the fire, whatever, and they was just like, "Rah!" And I'm just like, I had like a whole hate train on the internet, and I'm not saying that that's what really bothered me, but nothing really bothered me, but he went to an extent to call me out on the internet. Like, I'm talking about every day he was making a different post about me. And this was when I was reaching out to him because his babies wanted to talk to him, and this was over a year he haven't spoke to them. And in my mind I'm like, but your whole reasoning for turning up like this is because you missed them so much. But when I'm trying to make amends with you, I'm trying to handle this like an adult. I'm trying to see this through. And I understand what you felt like what I did was wrong, but you fail to see what caused me to do that. And then when I say what caused me to get up and go, you bring up, well, how was you acting to make me act like that to you to cause you to leave? And I'm just like, at what point does it end? At what point do you become a leader and take control of the situation that you so badly want to take control of, Because right now, to me, it seems like from the outside looking in, people are gonna think what they want to think. But for me, I know what's happening here. Like, I know that I got complete control of this situation, and you don't like that. And so he would try anything to break me. And I know he's gonna see this, and we're supposed to be like cool now, but I don't. At this point, it is what it is, because things were done, and this is my story, and I'm gonna tell it how
Well,
it happened.
you didn't mention no names, and you didn't tell what went on, so he can't be mad. So you doing
Yeah,
like you just you didn't never say a name. You never, you didn't go into depth. So you just
yeah,
he'll be all
but
right.
certain people not gonna really understand that. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
when you get to your highest level, it's gonna be no F's given, right? So when you get there, when
Absolutely, sugar.
when you get to, he better be glad it's F's given, right? But
Right,
when you get there,
right.
if you think they mad at you now, right? When it's
Watch
when
your
you
smoke when you
they
ain't
ain't
giving no
seen
F's.
they ain't seen nothing yet. So
Baby,
they
wait
bet.
till they get a load of the new
And I think
you. Wait till they get a load.
subconsciously, subconsciously they know that.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Mm-hmm.
boy, they know that, and that's why they try so hard to make sure it don't
Mm-hmm.
happen. But they don't. That's not gonna happen. I would never allow that to happen. I'm gonna always
I
keep
know.
going.
So
So yeah.
was your
So
go ahead.
huh?
No, go ahead. I was about to ask a question, but go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. So when as the time I'm trying to get in contact with him, his you know my 7-year old. Well, they were 6 and 5 and 6 at the time. They were randomly middle of the night crying, because they missed him. And it's not that I felt bad, but I understand they missed their dad. They don't understand why they were taken away or why, I left. And so I would try to reach out to him because in my mind, I'm thinking we can reconcile this. We can figure it out. It's not the end of the world. And this is my biggest point was we are humans living a life and decisions are to be made, things are going to happen. I mean this is kind of our own rendition of like a movie. Things are going to happen even if you don't like it. But just because it happened the way it happened does not mean that it's all bad. There are certain situations that happen and you think it's bad, but it benefits the situation, in the long run. So but all he can ever really think about was that I took them and not really focus on what he did. So, anyways, um, I got wind of him posting about me online. And every day for a week, 2 weeks, this man was posting a different story about me. Different videos, going through my social media, getting videos like, see, y'all, she crazy. See what she did, see what she's saying. And me, I get online and I act up sometimes, and it's all fun and games for me. But he'll flip it and say, this is how she is, or da da da. And throughout our whole relationship, he would take pictures and videos and screenshots. So he had a what do you call it? Where they keep all
Arsenal.
the guns and stuff.
A
Arsenal. He had an
arsenal. A arsenal.
arsenal
Mm-hmm.
going back to 2016. I was like, oh, you was ready for this. I like if you asking me, I gotta go through my phone and find screenshots and pictures because I don't have the mindset to try to like trip somebody up like that, even if they did me wrong. Because once you do me wrong, I don't gotta think about you no more. I'm over
Ooh,
here.
tell it,
You
tell
know
it,
what I'm saying?
tell
I
it.
don't got it is what it
Preach
is,
it,
baby.
baby.
I
Say
already
it.
know the
Say
fact that
it,
you
honey.
did
Pop your
what
collar
you
and say
did
it.
to me. The fact you did what you did to me, I don't have to worry about getting no get back because of the way I'm set up. That's just what it is. Some people gotta do that though, because they don't got no energy backing them up. But it is what it is. So yeah, like had a whole arsenal when I was going through postpartum depression. Cause I had two young boys, and then I had the twins, and the house would get messed because he was going to work. Uh,
That's
I
what's
got him a
low,
job.
though.
I got him a job, and he had a job, and and I got us a house, and he had, it was his. He was supposed to pay the rent. At that time the rent was like $900, 2017, whatever. Um, and you don't really get out of postpartum depression quickly, Um, but yeah, he had pictures dating from when my twins was babies, like laundry on the floor, dishes in the sink, stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, just regular everyday lived in house of a mother who got with 4 kids. Now you ask any mother with 4 kids what their house look like on a uh on a Wednesday night at 7. It's probably gonna look in disarray, okay? Because that's just what happens when you're a mom, you have children. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I never cleaned up, but he would catch me at my worst moments and stuff like that. So he was putting all that stuff out there online, and uh, against my better judgment, I was looking at it, and I think subconsciously it affected me, but not in a way that I think I was just like feeling bad. More so, it's like, okay, you want them, come and get them, then. Like, come and get them, come get them. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. I'm tired. Like I did all this, and I just feel my sons, they my then, And so he came and got him, and then I was left with my middle son. Yeah, because I got the twins. I got the oldest son, and I have my middle son, the one that was calling his dad whenever I got upset with him to tell him we was in Texas. So it was just me and him, and the whole I'm seeing how these lessons are played out for everybody, even my middle son, because he would get so frustrated being around his brothers and sisters, and I just wish they would just leave me alone, and I da 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 da. Wish granted, because at one point it was just me and him, and when it was just me and him, he was in that house by himself, and while I was out doing DoorDash or something, and he would be calling me, I'm scared, and there's something, and da da da, and whatever. But I'm just like, you asked for this. So I'm just like, so this is like me as a mother. I am teaching my children the hard lessons early, that so they don't gotta find out later. To me, this is what I'm thinking. Cause I'm like, you get what you ask for every single time. So be careful, cause this is my
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
lesson right now. Now looking back, I can talk
Right,
to them now and be
right.
like, see how you was, you see what you were saying, and then how it happened, how you realize that it ain't what you thought it was. I said, keep that in mind, because that's what life is, and it's gonna always be like that. I said, you need to be intentional about what you want, why you want it, because once you get it, you need to know how to handle it. It might not be what you thought. So this is my way of teaching my children how to be intentional, because life is the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? I can talk some blue in the face, you're not gonna listen. I'm just gonna let you go out there and experience it on your own, especially after I tried. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to wait till they 18, 19, 20 to figure it out. Like, you gonna figure it out now. So by the time you up there, you already know what to do when they come again. Like. So I'm not trying to hide my kids from life. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm very real and transparent with them. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, they seen everything I done been through, and um, so we got to the point where my middle son was like, I want to go back to Granny. I was like, you sure? You sure? Because we y'all keep wanting to go back to places where you think you're not a little child anymore. When you was a little child, it was fun and all that, but you're growing up, and I'm trying to tell you that when you go back, it's not gonna be like what you think it is. He didn't want to listen. So I got back in contact with my mom. I went no contact from everybody in Georgia for like over a year. And everybody was worried about me. But when I finally got in contact with them, they was just like, I knew you could do it. I knew you were gonna be okay. You know how it is. So, yeah, so I let him go back with my mom. So he wound up coming back with my mom. And I'm in Texas by myself. And I'm like, okay, I gotta do everything possible to keep my apartment. I cannot slack. I do not want to go back to Georgia. Three of my children are in Georgia, one in Detroit. And I'm just like, fuck. I was like, I'm back in that same situation again. Like, what in the hell? And so I am kind of beating myself up, because I'm just like, there's no way I went through all that for nothing. So it got to that point where I was just like, okay, okay, I made a plan. Everything was everything. I wrote it down. I had me a little whiteboard. I was like, okay, I'm by myself. I can move how I need to move. That same day, I'm at work, 'cause I still work at the school. That same day, my mom calls me and tells me that my son is telling people, the counselors at school, that he doesn't want to be here anymore, that he wants to take his own life. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And so, cause like before that, I had a conversation with him, and I said, look, okay, I need you and your brother, I need y'all to stay, just, just do everything y'all can do to just stay low key, do what y'all asked to do. I'm coming. I just need to get it together to the point where I'm able to at least break this lease. I mean, not break this lease. Get serve out the rest of this lease or whatever, and save money, and then come and get y'all. Get some money. Get some businesses going. Like do some things. Like I have enough time, energy, and space to actually focus on some type of business, something. Let me just do that. 2 weeks later, that day when I had came up with the plan, that was the day my mom called me and was like, "You gotta come get him. You gotta come get him. I can't do it. I just don't know. I got so much going on." And I was just like, "Okay, you know, um, fine. I'll come get them. I'll come get him." So I get in my car after I brought him during Christmas time. That's when I brought him. And I I had some other organizations donate a whole lot of toys. Like my kids had a really good Christmas or whatever. I don't celebrate Christmas, but it's that time of year, whatever, whatever. Anyway, so I had a whole bunch of gifts in the bag. I had four bikes in the bag, four big bags of toys and clothes and all that type of stuff. My son was in the front seat. We in the car again, driving from Texas to Georgia. And my plan, I left him there. And then I got that call. So I had to come back to come pick this boy up because I'm thinking like I'm finna just pick him up and I'm just gonna do what I said I was gonna do. I got a plan. I got a plan. I was like, there's no way that my plan finna get messed up. Like, I was set. And my mom and my dad, they sat me down and was like, well, we don't think you should go back to Texas. We think you should stay here with your children and just try to figure out what's going on. So at that point, I was just conflicted. I was like, what do I do? Because I really, technically, I don't want to be away from my children. Like, that's the last thing I want to do. But I know that I have a lot of space to do what I need to do to set myself up to be able to care for them like I need to when I'm back in Georgia. Because I know when I go back to Georgia, I got to figure out where I'm going to live at. Because I don't want to live with my mama. And I don't want to live, it's not that I can't live with my mom, or it's just me and her bump heads. My mom is, I love her, but uh, that affects me really bad to be in the same space as her. So I have to, you know, and so it's another story about my dad. I don't really want to get into it, but I can't stay with him. And so I got family. Like I said, I'm the light sheep. People really don't fool with me like that. So um can't stay nowhere. So I was just like, okay, what I'm gonna do. So I decided to go back to Texas and pack up all my stuff in my beautiful new apartment that I just freaking got. And I sold a lot of stuff. And then I just packed the car up and I just came on back to Georgia. And when I came back to Georgia, of course, I was really extremely depressed. I was depressed. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. But, you know, I still kind of was able to keep myself up, keep myself together, keep my car, because I'm a hustler for real. Like, I'm going to make sure I got at least the bare minimum. I'm going to make sure I can eat. I'm going to make sure I can shower. I'm going to make sure I got my car. I'm going to make sure it's stuff like that. So, I was really depressed, you know. Then I started tapping back into my spirituality because every time I'm down, it's like I have the time and the space, but it's like when things are going on, it's like I do little things. I'll meditate, but I can't really get into it how I really want to get into it because I feel like there's two worlds. Just I'm being split into two worlds, and there is one that's I know that the spiritual world kind of reflects this physical, but in the illusion, like the third dimension is just like it's in your face. Like you constantly have to make sure everything is everything in that space. So sometimes I do fall off or whatever, but when I'm down, I have that that time, energy, and space to do what I need to do or whatever. So yeah, I started just, doing my thing. And, I got me a job and, specific things that I asked for, like a work at home job with no phone. Got that. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can kind of keep things balanced a little bit. Because I knew at one point I was going to have to, move into my van. I was going to have to figure it out. So um, I just started looking up stuff on the internet, looking up van life on the internet, and just seeing people actually doing it. Like people are actually living in their van. And I'm just like, okay, I can do this. I had some money saved up or whatever. And so I think the last $400 that was in my account, I took that and I just furnished my van. I put my seats down into my floor and I bought me a cot. I bought me a mattress. Like y'all can see back there, it look a little messy, but it's not. It's some stuff going on. I got more videos that I'm about to post actually. That'll give you a more like in-depth tour or whatever. But yeah, I bought the stuff that I needed, the essentials. I got somewhere to sleep. I got like a little sink in here. Um, it's real cozy and
You got a
comfy. And
sink? Uh-oh, you got a sink in
no,
there?
I said, yeah, it's like a little tub. It's like a little tub that I can drain and stuff like. But yeah, it's cool. And this is I'm a nomad at heart for real. Like I don't really like staying in one place. I like to travel around and just be. I like the fact that everything that I need is with me. And at any point in given time, I could just go somewhere, and I
Hmm.
got everything
Like
that
a
I need. I got all
gypsy.
my clothes. Yeah, that's me.
Hmm.
That's what I used to call myself, a nomadic gypsy. This is
Uh-huh.
before I was even, cause I like to move around. I lived in the 2 states. I like to move around, so that is comforting for me.
So
So
how
yeah,
so
that's
how
how.
did your family take it when you decided to like take on this kind of lifestyle living out the van?
I got people saying they worried about me, and I don't really like that because I just feel like how far what's your cap on the worry? You know what I'm saying? Like why are you worrying about me? Like, why are you putting that energy on me? Like, you think something bad gonna happen to me? Why not, wish me well? You know what I'm saying? I don't like when people worry about me, and I don't like when people say, put that act on, but don't quite do everything that they can do to actually help me. And it's not that I want handouts, but I just don't need you worrying if you're not gonna be like, okay, here's all the things that I can do to help you. Like, but I don't want you to be like, oh, well, I'm so worried about you, and I know I got this to help you, but I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I'm worried.
Or just don't
Leave
say
that
nothing at
energy
all,
alone.
right?
Let
Just
it
wish
go.
me well and
I
don't say nothing at all, right?
yeah,
Something
I
leave.
don't quite understand. What's worry? It's like when you worry, it's like you putting the energy of fear out on
Yeah,
somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's
yeah,
no point in doing it because
yeah.
I'm gonna be out here regardless if you worried or not. I'm out here, so relax.
But the minute you got in the van, what was your feelings? Like it's like woo, like it's like I feel like emancipated. I feel free. Like what are your feelings once you get in this? Once you make that decision and you get that van, like how was your feelings? How did you feel?
um, I felt really empowered because of the
Mm,
simple fact that I'm like, no matter what situation I'm in, key gonna make a way out of no way. I'm gonna figure that shit out. Like, period. And it's like I'll do whatever is necessary to make sure I'm straight and to make sure I can get myself into a situation where everybody around me is straight. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So I can't fall too far from anywhere because I still have responsibilities. I still have to take care of my children. I still want to, but in this situation, I had to make do. And I don't like feeling uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm.
I'm going to make sure that if I gotta live in my van, I'm gonna live in my van. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what's necessary to make sure I feel Like this is a palace. Like to me, I feel like I'm living in luxury right now. You know what I'm saying?
Girl,
It,
I'm about
I
ready to
just
go buy me a van now. You convincing me, right? I tell it, I'm trying to get to Kansas City, right? I don't. It's a song that's stuck in my head since I was young. Kansas City,
So, what you have
yeah.
like a generator? Do you like how do
yeah.
you kind of keep your lights on in there? I see the lights are always on.
Right now I'm running my car. I am running it. So I don't have a generator or anything like that. The car is on, but I do have like these lights. I don't know if y'all can see those lights up there, but they are. It's like a battery pack back there that they running off of. But I don't have a generator or anything. I'm just because I'm in the city, so it's like if I need anything, I can stop at the gas station. Um, I could do whatever I need to do just by going to somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Do you
have.
have like a gym membership? Like you get up every morning, go to the gym, kind of take
Yes,
a shower.
yes, I have a gym membership. And I go uh work out sometimes, y'all. And then I take a shower. Like sometimes I just walk in there, take a shower, walk back out. Um, if I need to eat, um, I'll get things that I don't have to cook or whatever. But I mean, I still have access to people's houses, right? Like, uh, I don't want to be that person sleeping on somebody's couch and they looking at me like, okay, girl, like when you gonna get up and get something going on. I have a sense of freedom because, if
Now
I
you
do need to
don't
go to
have to. Right, but I think the freedom also probably will come in at is now you ain't got to worry about this. There ain't nobody kicking me out again. Ain't nobody giving me no rules and regulations again. Ain't nobody looking at my money again. And when I'm ready
yeah,
to go, I'ma go. When I'm ready to come see you, I'ma see you. Right? Because
mhm,
all of that,
mhm,
show me your bank account and lights out, lights on, like your kids, like now
yeah.
you ain't gotta worry about losing the house again. Like this is my house or where I'm
Long
staying,
as I
like right
pay this
now.
car note, baby. As long as I pay this
Ye-
car note,
Yeah,
but I'm always figure out how to pay the car note. Like
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I see the
So
sense of freedom you got from
Right.
yeah,
what all you have been through. Yeah.
Have
yeah.
you been able to maintain the weight loss that you lost?
Um, I would say I probably gained about 10 pounds, and that just comes from me just having access to all the things that I like. Like when I had my apartment, I would buy certain things and just keep it at the house. And of course, like, oh, I want a cinnamon roll, but there's no cinnamon roll in the refrigerator, and I'm not getting dressed, getting up, going to get no cinnamon roll. So I guess I'm not eating a cinnamon roll. Versus now, I have to have a little bit more discipline because the store right down the street, and I could just walk in there and buy me a cinnamon roll. So
Right.
it's a little bit more difficult, but you know, it is what it is. I just got to be more
So do you have
disciplined.
to worry about where you park at? Like, do you sleep in a certain place, or you like kind of like at
I
Walmart's?
move
Or
around. I move around. Sometimes it be at the gym. I'll go 30 minutes away to a gym. Like I'm never in the same space. I'll go 45 minutes away to a hotel. I'll in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I
You
don't
go
really be in
places, you go places where
that
there's cameras at.
cameras, lights. I'll park right up under the camera. I'm always with a camera.
Yeah.
I'm always with a light. I got
Mm.
weapons, like you know what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, mostly it's where like 24-hour places, places where people park overnight. Hotels. Never like a Waffle House or anything like that. It's too much traffic. I don't go because you can easily go to like a quick trip or gas station, but that's too much traffic for me. Too much noise. So maybe like a hospital. You know what I'm saying? You park at a
Mm-hmm.
hospital. They got security, but you got to be real. This is also called like stealth camping. That's what they call it too. So you got to be real like slick, and so no, don't nobody see you or whatever. But yeah, like it's real. It's real chill. It's real chill
are
to
you a
me.
part of any like van like group where you guys like give each other pointers on what to do, or you should come over here, do this, do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really congregate with people out in the van life. because this is still kind of new to me, and I don't really travel like that because I still gotta stay in the area because my children are here. So I just stay in the area, and I don't I didn't really it didn't really hit me that okay, this is gonna last a little while until like last week. Um because I didn't really put a lot of energy into, because I knew I wanted to do van life, but my mindset was I gotta get out this van and get my children. Like that's what my
Right.
mindset was. So I wasn't really set on making content or anything like that. I did like one video, but because I wanted to do more, but I just wasn't focused on. I was focused on getting a place, but um there's I have to be a little bit more grounded in order for that to happen. Cause you manifest your reality. Everybody does. It's not
Yeah,
some
but
type of
that's
superpower.
great content. Van
Yeah,
life,
it
that's
is. It
great
is. I just didn't have
content.
the mindset. I didn't think that I would be. I didn't take it that serious because I didn't think that I would be here for a while. So I was like, my content is gonna change. So I need to focus on something else. Like because I'm always
Mm,
trying to like next thing, next thing, next thing. But I was sat down like recently because I did have a chance to get an apartment, you know, because I'm always just manifesting. Like that's what I do. But if I have to
mm,
be in the right mindset, the right space, or what I manifest, and this is anybody, but I'm saying me specifically because this is my story. But whatever you're trying to manifest, if you're not intentional and somewhat specific, and like it's like you have to be intentional, you have to be specific, but you also have
Right.
to be open to
Mm-hmm.
things that you weren't specific about. So it's tricky, and then you have to put your feelings into it as if it's already happening. It's like so much that goes into it. So I
Right.
did had a chance to get me an apartment, but it wasn't what I asked for. And I'm not one to settle because I feel like I can have whatever I want.
I know that's
But
right.
I'm not settling for anything. So the apartment that was presented to me, it was like it had roaches and the carpet wasn't clean, smelled like dog pee. It was a free apartment, but I was like, I can't do that. That's because what message is that sending to the universe? Like, no, that's
I
not what
like
I
your
asked for.
concept.
But
What you said. What message is that sending to the universe or to God? That's not what you asked for. So why settle?
yeah, yeah,
Also,
and
I'm
I know.
showing. I'm not sure if you see the screen, but I'm showing your van the transition.
yeah, the computer and everything.
It looks
But you
sweet.
do.
It's sweet. Now look at that. Come on,
I
child.
know.
Come on,
I'm a girl. You gonna have a
Very.
roommate. You gonna have
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
roommate soon, girl.
Listen, I'm gonna
I'm
take my truck
on
and I'm
the
become a route
way.
girl.
decider at the way
I'm
I'm
on the
feeling.
way.
I'm gonna
But
be doing truck life. She gonna be doing van life. Okay, because that's the
n-
way I'm feeling right now.
but you do know that when it comes down to content, you got two different pages. So you got one for this content and one for whatever else content. You got more than one page. But I think this is a beautiful experience. And I think
Yeah,
that maybe this is what you're supposed to be maybe teaching people. Maybe not
yeah,
to live in a land, but you could do your teachers and talk about your spirituality, how difficult it is when go see your kids and why, and you could do like how you got it there, the vlog, but girl, don't stop. I mean, do you
yeah.
got people that
I am loving all of
five
it.
minutes 5 minutes a day, if you have it to give these like 90 seconds, right? I don't know how that goes for the
Yeah,
little
it
vlogs.
depends. Yeah, like 30 seconds. Yeah, I think you go up to 3 minutes. I'm working on something right now, y'all. I just decided to take it more serious because I was like, okay, let me focus on the present because I think I was just too,
Oh,
I
child, you put them
yeah,
lights like that?
Yes, this is
yeah,
beautiful. This is very beautiful. I love the way you set your atmosphere so you can be calm and peaceful and set your intentions. That's a beautiful environment to set your intentions every day.
yes,
This is
yes.
beautiful.
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I really do appreciate the support because y'all, I know y'all can just imagine from what I've been saying, but it's just like I don't hear that often. And so it's just like to
Me
hear that
either.
from
You have
y'all
a
too.
home here. I came upon them by fasting and praying. I came upon Sugar and I came upon DJ. So you have a home here. This is your family. If you want to receive us as your family, we are your family, because even Jesus said the people that do his will and is trying to make a difference in the world are their family. When he was on that cross, when they said your mother and your brother are crying for you, he looked out at the people who was really crying for him and said, these are my family. That's my mother. That's my brother. So we are your family if you would have us. It's a
Yeah,
safe space over here.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate the support so much. I do. Yeah. So I'm working on some new
Now,
content, y'all.
how is your like interaction with other people besides like your family or whatever since you've been in the van life? Because I do know we do go incognito for a while, and people don't understand we're just fine, right? People don't understand
Yeah.
we like that. But people, they be mad at us, but we try to tell them this is how we get sometime, right? But
Yeah.
we are more than just fine. But we do go incognito, then we come out and play. Hey, then we go back to
Hmm.
incognito. Especially you're
Yeah.
empath, right? So a lot of people really truly don't get that empath thing now. And plus, you have been diagnosed at the same time, so you really need me time, right? You
Right.
really truly need me time and gathering yourself and getting your whatever together, then you'll come. People understand you will come out and play. Hey, how you doing? Play with y'all, give y'all a little bit of my attention, then go. But so I know I know you're good, right? I know you good. I know you need this, and plus you still have your kids in your life. You still can speak to them. You still know
Hmm.
how they're doing. So it's not like you left them with they're with their fathers, right? All of them are
Yeah.
with their fathers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
but I didn't. Well, yeah, my middle son is with my mom, so they're all spread out, which does bother me. But I mean, they're good.
But you
They're
speak to
good.
them and you got
Yeah,
a car, so you got to get to them, right? It
yeah,
ain't like you
yeah,
not in the automobile. You're in the
yeah.
automobile.
I
God
didn't
forbid.
abandon them or anything like that.
Right. You got a car right there. If you got to go the same way when your mother said, come and get them, you didn't think twice. You left your apartment, you left your house, and you flew
Hmm.
down there. So it's no doubt your kids come first, right? There is
Yeah,
no doubt your kids come first, right?
yeah,
So we that's not even a question, because if it was not, you'd have been like, well, I can't break my lease. You didn't go through all that, right? You just went down there
yeah.
for your son. So that's not even a question, right?
I also like to add something. Sometimes God will isolate us to prepare us for the mission that He has us on, including our kids. And that's
Yeah.
just so that you can work, still focus on your mental health and focus on what He's instructing you to do. Sometimes when God is instructing us to do something, sometimes He can only catch us either in our dreams or in like in wee hours in the morning
I
prayer
agree.
time. And when the veil is split, when it's open at 3, but when our kids are around us, it's very difficult to give our full attention to God and what He wants. He's a jealous God, and He will separate even you and your kids because He comes first above all else. And when you give Him that time, things will fall more into place. But this is just your me time. This is your time. This is your time with Him and you, and this is your time for
No,
yourself.
she understands when I say me time,
No,
right?
no, I know. I'm just
Right.
not
She
input, sugar.
understand.
I know
Right.
she
She
understands. I'm just telling her
no.
from my point of view.
Yeah, but even if no, as a Leo, right? That's why I said
Hmm.
she understands when I say me time. We even if stuff is going all the way good for us, we have to go incognito, right? And we have to recharge, right? Just to deal with people because we take in a lot of people's
Energy.
energy.
Right, I
Yeah.
understand that. My son
Y'all
is a
didn't say
oldest.
jinx. Y'all both said it at the same time. Jinx.
My oldest son. We ain't getting jinxed. That's her double her blessings and
No, but
triple.
he's a male one. we
Yeah,
female
yeah.
ones,
What,
right?
what's the other one? What's the other one that you say when you say something at the same time?
You got to pinch each other. We ain't close to each other to pinch each other. You got to pinch each other and say jinx at the same time. But we ain't believing in that. We gonna believe
Well,
in some
I know
flex.
this was just a fun thing. That was
I
funny.
know.
But that way it's fun to say I still pinch people.
I don't let you pinch.
I
I'll say the
still
jinx.
pinch
You pinch.
people.
You pinch
Right,
yourself.
but no, but what I was saying is people may not understand that, and we become the bad guy
Mm-hmm.
because people don't want, and we tell them these things, right? We tell them that, and they don't seem to get it. So that's another burden, but it's nothing. There's nothing we could do about that because people they assume because they hear the word Leo, they assume we are extroverts, but people don't really understand we are introverts. I don't know what they think. The 5 minutes that they see us, we do extrovert stuff, not knowing that
Because
we
they so
cannot wait.
drawn.
We
They so
right, we
drawn.
can't wait to get back in our hole, right, right in our hole, you know.
So, what is a typical day in the life of a van life? Kiki,
Yeah.
what is your day take?
Okay, so typical day. So I don't even really set an alarm because it's as soon as the sun come up, I'm up like 7, 8 o'clock. It's boop because it's light and bright, and so I'm up about 7, 8 o'clock. I'll probably just sit in the van. I might, uh, I, I'll meditate sometimes. Sometimes I won't. It really just depends on how I feel. I'll journal. Sometimes sit there and scroll on TikTok until I, you know, feel okay. It's time for me to move. It's time for me to get up. So I'll, what would I do? I'll take down all my window coverings and stuff. I'll climb in the front seat and I'll drive to the gym and I'll go take me a shower. And then I do have an aunt who allows me to utilize her space while I'm at work. So I'll probably go get me like a smoothie or something. And then I'll go to my auntie house, go to work, get off of work. It's real simple. It's nothing too extravagant. Get off of work and then get in my van. I'll probably go to the gas station and sit at the gas station and just kind of just do whatever, whatever my mind tells me to do. I'm just now starting to get into a routine. It takes me a while to get into a routine because I'm so used to like things just like changing abruptly. So once I'm into a routine, that's kind of what I stick to. And so
So
I kind
what's
of go
the
sit
How,
there.
how has dating been?
Oh,
yeah.
there's not, no. When I first got to Georgia, there was somebody I thought I was interested in, but that fizzled out rather quickly. At this point in my life, I am not really interested in dating.
Mm-mm.
I don't. I'm like, if someone can't come into my life right now and just make it better, and
That
that's
ain't
not
gonna
me
happen.
being selfish.
It ain't
That's
gonna
just me
happen.
just being just
I mean,
like,
it can happen, but while you're going through what you're going through, like it
I think
is
this is a journey on my own, and
right, right. And
there's really no help for
Right. I
me.
feel
do
the
I
you
mean,
same way.
do you think about I really hope you do because your spirit is so beautiful. And I would love for you to share your spirit with the world, right? And do you think that, like, moving forward, like, maybe you'll start when you're ready to get to that point, right? And imagine having, like, a whole, like, getting, like, clients or talking to people or whatever, like, or having your, like, all the things that wasn't, like, even, matter of fact, you really should write some articles or whatever on how, not maybe where you are at, I mean where you were at but not using the name, like how are people treated when they go into these, like they leave a bad situation I really think that story needs to be told. It has to be
That's a
told,
good idea.
and then seek out other people who have, like, from a similar, because that hurt me to the core, because I've just left from being abused, and now to come here to be abused too, right? And you, thank goodness, like you said, your mental is different. But what about the other women who mental is not strong as yours? And God knows what they're doing now, or if they got kicked out and then they had to go back to that abusive. That you could be saving so many lives right now, right?
Yeah,
So,
that was my
but
thing. What if
but
my
also putting not just saving souls, but also putting fire to them organizations that treat people like that. 'Cause
Exactly, sugar.
remember you told that lady it just might be you
hmm
coming back
yeah.
in a different form.
And last I heard, the person who I was talking to didn't get into details, but they was just like they saw her and she didn't look good, and then the next time she didn't work there anymore.
Yeah, but it's the
It seemed
policy
like she went
period.
through something.
It's the policy period, right? That they let these things happen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It,
it won't change until someone does step up
right.
and
That would be
makes it aware, right?
right. Even though
So,
you're in a different state, but I mean, I will find out, is this how it really rolls? Like everywhere you go, because
well, let me
people
tell
think
you
it,
what's funny.
because that might make some women stay in their relationships. Why go
Yeah,
there? Hmm.
yeah, it will.
Even more,
I can
yeah.
tell you most definitely. I've seen it. I've seen some women be like, I can't take this, and I'm just finna just call my baby daddy. I can't. I'm just gonna go back. Like that has happened. I've seen it firsthand, and I'm just thankful that I was in another state because I would have probably left too. Like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. Just just and but what's the craziest thing is that ever since I was a young child, and I feel like this has always been my calling, because I always wanted to be that person to help people, to offer assistance, and be that
To
person
advocate.
that they call, say, hey, I need help with this, and I could be like, boom. And from that moment on, that's literally me. Like, I literally have people
Hmm.
call me for resources. Oh, do you know where I can go here? Do you know what's this?
Hmm.
What? Da, da, da. So I have a whole knowledge base on things like that. There is something that I do have to organize within myself and put together, but I feel like I've always wanted to open up a group home or a home for women and children. Like, that's always been my thing, right? And so, like, when I started going through this, I was like, and I'm seeing what's happening, and I'm like, nah, like, no, no, this can't be it.
I would.
And yeah,
And you
it
have a
can't
you have a
work.
book, right? You have an actual book out because even throughout this, let me tell you something. When,
Hmm.
when Kiki was going through all this stuff, she actually put out a book of was it affirmation? What was that book of? A
So
journaling book.
basically, yeah, it's called My Little Black Book of Success, and I don't know,
Oh.
Wait, her name is Kiki.
yeah, yeah, Kiki.
That's what they call me on this panel, or
Oh,
CC.
really?
Yep.
That's what's up.
I feel very connected to you. Like, it's a God connects me to certain people or allow me to meet certain people, and I just feel just drawn to your spirit because I know what it feels to be misunderstood and gaslit, and you don't even know what these things mean, but you just feel uncomfortable because all you're trying to be is yourself, but people don't understand. And I didn't even know. I'm like, I've been driving, listening, but doing stuff with my sons and taking care of business. I did not know that that was your name.
Yeah,
Wow, that's kind of
yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah, I have a homeboy that would be like, I'm talking to you. It feels like you're unlocking things in my mind. He was like, no wonder why they call you Kiki.
Yeah, because
And I was
you are the son, you are the teacher, right? So now you're putting these different things, because you have to, a lot of things has to be exposed, right? You are the light. Even
Yeah.
like I said, you must expose what happens to these women when they go to these places. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to definitely get that book,
I'm
Right.
girlfriend.
So
definitely
this
gonna
is
have
her
to.
book right here. It is called The Little Black Book of Success. And
This
what
is
it says,
beautiful.
this journey. Now she actually is Kiana Key Smith, the
Did
author.
she make the
And,
cover?
Yeah,
yep.
I made that
She made
cover.
Oh my
Very nice.
girl.
Very nice. I might
very
have to get
very
with you for my book cover and have you
Yeah.
make it. And I'll
Yeah.
have to do you guys have her information, like her
yeah,
email or her Instagram or whatever?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got all
Yeah.
I
You can
want my book.
go to
So
And all
listen,
imaginingcreations.com.
December 31st, 2022 is when she put this book out. So she was in the midst of all that when she put
Yeah,
this out. You
I
understand?
was.
This is how resilient this young lady is. Okay. So it says this journal is
oh,
your personal guide to unlocking your greatest potential and manifesting the lifestyle of your dreams. With thought provoking questions, check ins, and exercise, it helps you uncover or overcome any limiting beliefs or barriers to success. As you track your progress and reflect on your journey, you'll start to see how your actions, thoughts, and decisions shape your future. Through this
mhm.
journal, you'll gain clarity on your goals and tools to achieve them. You'll learn how to turn your passions into a reality and create the life you desire. With the help of this journal, you'll be able to manifest your best future and self and lifestyle.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And we also got author Jackie up
This
in
is
here. Um,
very
but
Yeah.
when you started writing that, uh, was it just, you know what, I'm going through this, so maybe if I can change it up and just say this, let people see within themselves. Like, what was the purpose of the book?
So the purpose of the book was um because when I was diagnosed with bipolar, I was also told that I probably have borderline personality disorder. So when I was looking it up, um, it basically they were saying the main one of the main symptoms is like you don't really have an identity. And
Mm.
once I started like looking into myself, I'm like, I started trying to go back to childhood. Like, who was I in childhood? And I could just remember being so attracted to just you remember I don't know if y'all ever remember this Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like that was
Mm.
like my girl, and she was like a gypsy and she was just like free. I was like, oh my God, and I was always attracted to things like that. But growing up, I was never able to express myself as that person. And then, once I'm trying to figure out who I am, every time I try to figure out who I am, I'm told I'm not that person. I should be this person. And then so many different people are coming from many different angles telling me who I am. And so
But you
from
are who
that
you
point,
are.
yeah, I didn't know as a child. It was, as a child,
Yeah,
you don't really
yeah.
know.
Hmm.
So it grew with me. That's just how I was, and I just like this is how I am. And it even got to a point where it's like I don't have an identity because I started learning about the universe and how God is within all of us and God is all things and everything is everything. And I'm like I don't have an identity. I am just everything and everything is me because I'm connected to God and I'm made in God's image. And
I
I kind of
love
went
it.
through that whole
I love
situation.
it.
But then I started realizing, like, in the third dimension, when you're navigating, it is important to have an identity because you want people to be able to recognize you by what they
Hmm.
see, who they're talking to. You want to be able to stand on something. You want to be able to be like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm not standing for. You want to be able to, like, clearly define who you are as a person.
But
So I,
every day we change, right? And I think
yeah,
you
that's true.
was doing, I think that you were doing that by saying the word, no, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not that, right? Because
Yeah.
technically, what are, like, if people say you don't have, I technically, what does that mean, right? Because a lot of time people can say they that, but they lying, right? They not really that. And the empath that you are,
Yeah.
you see through,
But if you
Right.
think about it, like,
you
Yeah.
see through the
what's
right,
really
you see
real?
through them,
Hmm.
and right, and you see through them
Right.
anyway. Like, no, you're not,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? I hear you, but whatever, right? You probably
Yeah.
have a lot of that going on with people who you talk to. Like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you
Uh,
can see right through them. It's like you
right.
can
Yeah.
see
So,
their
But you
souls.
can also see from like from my standpoint, I don't necessarily judge these people because
right,
this is who they see themselves as, even though they
right.
don't present that. But I see that they're
Right.
struggling, you know what I'm saying, with the
Mm-hmm.
identity. And this is why I made this book, because when you can, it's like, even though we're changing every day, we still have to have who we are to the core of our being to live out this experience. Because if you're not definite and definitive in your decision making and why you made this decision and who you are, you will fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's okay to change your mind based off of new information,
Absolutely.
yeah. But
All
like,
right.
at a core, who are you as a person? What are your morals? What do you,
Okay.
who, like, what do you know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you
So,
do? Like, are you loving?
am I loving?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, yeah, I am.
That
But
well,
also,
that's
I'm
one
indifferent
person.
too, depending on
Well,
the situation.
then that's who you are too. And you know what? Everything you name will be okay. And that's all of your identity. I am a loving person. Sometimes I could be like, sometimes I could, how they say, I'm a little bit of country, I'm a little bit of rock and roll, but all of that's okay, right? But you also know when it comes down, like you, I mean, you already explained who you are, right? You said, I'm always going to make sure I'm good, right? I'm going to take
Hmm.
care of myself. And DJ already said the word, you're resilient, right? So,
Hmm.
but I'm just saying, you already named so many strengths that you
Hmm.
had it. So you is a power of strength, right? You
It
is
took
a.
me such a long time to get to this point, though. It took
Mm-hmm,
a while because I didn't know
uh-huh.
these things about myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to
Do
go
you
through these experiences.
do
How
you
old are
feel
you?
stronger?
I'm asking.
Go ahead.
How
She's
old are
not.
you?
I'm 32.
You're gonna keep on learning. It's a life journey and it's a beautiful one once you get to tap
Yeah.
into where you in. I'm 49 going into 50. And even though some stuff is happening, I am I'm looking forward to my birthday. I'm about to blow this thing out of the water with fasting and praying and manifesting the rest of my life. Cause baby, let me tell you, I feel I'm very, very adamant. I remember going to get my truck. I have a 2024 Honda Ridgeline, and I was going to go and see if I can trade my 2017 Honda Ridgeline in, and that was my dream truck. And so he tried to put me into Tacoma. I said no, I want this. So the one I picked out, I'm very practical and very realistic. I wanted something within my price range. And so what I test drove, it was going to be about the car note was going to be about almost $1,000 with the insurance. They came back. I told them that was unacceptable and God wasn't accepting and neither was I. They came back, gave me a 2024 Honda Ridgeline, and my payments are $500.
Mm.
Amen.
You
And
see how
listen,
it does it? Because I was adamant and very definitive about what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
that
And
let
that's
me ask
that's
you a
the whole
question.
point. Yeah.
Do
Hmm.
you feel stronger now with this with the van, living in the van than you did in the apartment?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I feel more in control
Mm-hmm.
because living in a apartment, I had way more responsibilities, way more bills, things like that. And in the van, it's not as trying as trying to keep up with the home and cleaning it, and I just being subject to making sure certain things are done so you can live comfortable. It's a bigger space. So, um, I
I can
mean,
imagine it also forces you that when it's time to spend time with your kids, you actually do something versus like just sitting at the house all day long.
well, I don't really sit at the. I mean, I always did stuff with my kids. That's the only thing that I don't like is that, I mean, it's quiet, it's peaceful. I don't have to be like, stop, don't do that, don't do that, because kids. But That's one thing that I don't like is that I don't get to spend as much time with them as I would like. I can't just go into my son's room and be like, "What you doing?" You know, I don't like that part. But I mean, in any situation, there's good and the bad and bad and the good. So, I mean, I'm just learning to kind of just stay in the present and just kind of just take this for what it is, but still working towards the goals that I set too. So, yeah.
Do you have any like anecdotal funny stories about just being in the van? That like anything crazy that have happened that's kind of crazy that you like, wow, that you probably wouldn't have
Um,
experienced?
let me see. I seen a fair share of like just random fights, like at the gas station, just sitting up at a gas station, you will see some stuff. Yeah, I seen two people. I don't even know if I got that video in my phone because I did take a video, but it was two girls got out of a car, they started fighting, and then they got back into the car. They let one girl in the car and then tried to drive off, and then it was weird, but it was funny, and I see stuff, random stuff like that all the time.
Girl, you ain't take that camera out, girl. Now you can
Oh no,
keep that
I
phone
think
in.
I still got that video. I didn't take the camera out.
Baby, everything is content, as
Oh, let
Jaguar
me tell you,
say.
I I seen another one, but I had accidentally deleted it because I was trying to make space in my phone to record it. But it was on June. It was uh uh Black History Month, February,
Oh,
and
Lordy.
this white man. He had on a Black History T-shirt, and he's driving in the parking lot, and this black man come out, and the white man hit the black man with the car. He kind of bumped into him, and I'm looking. He bumped into. I don't think he meant to. I don't know what happened or what occurred or how he hit the man. But he get out the car to make sure he okay, and the the black man started beating him up and stomping him and stuff, and then he went into his car, and he just started rummaging through his car and just taking stuff out of his car. And I just thought it was, I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. It was funny because the white man had on a Black History T-shirt, and it was Black History Month, and he
And
was
he
getting
was
beat
beating up
up,
the
and
player.
and I'm
That is
like, 'cause
fun.
I was recording it, and my phone, the storage thing came up, so I go to try to delete some stuff out of my phone, and wound up deleting that video. I'm like,
Wow.
oh my god. So I don't even have
It's
that, but
still
it's
a
so
funny story
funny.
to tell because that was funny.
Yeah,
Right. So
it's funny.
I had a question on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot what it was. Oh, wait. So like when it comes down like to like have you ever had got pulled over and your police is like, hey, what's going on with all this?
Oh
No?
no, they don't see me, baby. I'm
Yeah.
good. For one, I
She
make sure
said,
this insurance stay paid, but child,
uh,
yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I'm covered, baby. Because I was in Texas driving with expired tags, out of state expired tags, and no insurance with that little red car, and I was good.
you was
But
driving with a hole in your battery, right?
baby,
Right. That
let me
somebody
tell
poked. I
you.
think somebody poked that damn hole in their battery. I'm
There is
sorry.
a covering over me, baby. Because even then, I still
Amen.
made it through that. Like you can't take
Amen.
me
Mm-hmm.
out there, baby. You
Mm-hmm.
can't. You just can't. And I know people be trying, and I know people be trying, but they can't. And I'm
Well,
not
let
trying
me
to be
ask you.
arrogant, but it's like whatever.
Well,
It's okay.
what would you tell through your experience somebody that's going through DV? What would you tell them?
I think the biggest thing is just you have to get out, and there are resources. If you Google the domestic violence hotline, there are resources and there are people that can help you. And I think the biggest thing is that they're scared that you know somebody would come after them. But these places are secure. You can go to a different state because usually in those situations a man is a coward and he sees your power and he's trying to make sure that you never do. And he will try to at every point in time try to make you seem lower than him because he's so low that he can't imagine you overcoming what the abuse that he's handing out. So I feel like women in those situations, they're dealing with a coward and they don't know their own worth. They don't understand how strong and powerful they are, because if that man was not intimidated by you, he would not try to make you feel low. He would not try to hurt you and harm you. And that is not love. That man is emotionally unstable and he needs to seek some type of help. But as far as the woman, you need to go get out, call these resources, because there are resources available, and don't think that you can't do it without him. Like,
Sounds like
don't be
that.
the
Sounds like
person
your
to
next book. Sounds like your next book
Yeah,
resource.
mm,
yeah.
Yeah, it
Now,
does. It
how
really
would how would you teach them how to look for places to, from your experience, right? Is there any key things that they will have to look for or just go? I mean, because you don't want them to leave one bad place and then be treated the same way. So is it things that they can look for or they will never know until they get
you
there?
honestly, you will never know until you get there. Because I've been
Hmm.
through situations where, man, like I didn't know. It looked like it was all smoke and mirrors, honestly. And then when I got in there, it was just, like during that whole situation before I even came to Texas, I went through a couple of shelters and yeah. So it's all smoke and mirrors, and but you just have to be resilient. If you're going to make the decision, and you should, to leave and for your own safety, you have to be resilient and know that it's not going to be all comfort and all that, but fear is an illusion, and you just got to go through it. You just got to go. You just got to go. You got to do what you got to do. If you love yourself, if you find that strength within yourself to leave, then do it. And don't worry about what's coming next. Just have faith that everything gonna work out. And like I said before, your thoughts create your reality. So if you believe and know that you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay.
Right.
That's
Hmm.
it.
That was
And
pretty
and
good.
another thing I was gonna say is that you know, one thing that people are afraid to do is go to the police.
Mm.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Uh I would say you don't necessarily have to go to the police and call the police. Like, you don't. If you feel like that's what you need to do, if you feel like you need the police to be there while you get your stuff while you're leaving, then do that. Just so you feel safe. But in my experience, the police were no help. That's just my story.
the
Oh
You know,
police
no,
somebody
no,
that
I,
for
worked at
I
me,
was
the
gonna say
police no help either. Neither
I
was the FBI. So if the FBI and the police didn't help me, I had to call on Jesus and be resilient and get my tail on where I need to go.
but no,
So
no, I was talking about go to the police station because that's where you have to go to get to the domestic violence shelter to get shielded
I had
from
to
that
call
person.
them. I had to
oh,
call
okay.
the
I see what
DV
you're saying,
shelter.
Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, go
So yeah,
ahead. Tell about
I
that.
did have to call. I had to call the DV shelter. Once I called them, they told me to go to the police department, and the police didn't ask me no questions. They really just, um, I guess their presence there, if I were being followed, that person wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? They would back up. Nobody, you can't be that crazy. But yeah, I mean, they didn't ask me no questions. They didn't say nothing. I got in the car and followed them to the shelter, and they took me in and they left. That was pretty much my experience. But as far as
And
calling
then
911 when I was in a situation, no.
what also when it comes down to it, being able to shield your address, shield where you are, being incognito, like I think you should write a book about that because the fact that you were able to stay hidden for a year and a half or more before you actually could have stayed hidden even longer if you
Yeah,
didn't say okay go ahead let me reach out, you know what I'm saying, you could have probably stayed gone for like 5 to 6 however many years.
yeah. I could have stayed on. I know there's things you could do as far as like you can freeze your accounts on LexisNexis, because every time you do an application or something like that, it gets uploaded to this website called LexisNexis, and there's other ones too. And yeah, you just gotta be don't leave a paper trail.
Yeah, because
Um,
depending on how crazy the guy is, they can follow you wherever you go, find out where you live at. If they know how to
Right,
like
right.
look
yeah,
up those things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cause
so
my ex found where I was at before I went to the shelter. He found me at Monica house,
Yeah, he found
and
my
I was
address, right?
gone.
And said he was going. He said he was on his way over there. He never came, but yeah, I'm about to come over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was already gone. I was moving around, so he, so he knew what like where like I was in Texas, but he didn't know where I was at.
Right, and that's smart. You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah.
is your
Um,
how? Go ahead. You had a question,
no,
Sherry?
I was just saying hippie could it maybe she could answer hippie behind the scenes if that's okay, hippie. She could answer you could answer
Yeah,
her behind the scenes.
Hippie is going through a similar situation that you are, and she wants to find some
Right.
resources.
That'd be better if they could like email or talk,
Yeah,
that way.
yeah, I can help. I can help. I would just say like the best thing to do Google and any state that you in. It don't matter like you can call any DV shelter in any state in any location. Like they will take you because you're in a situation where that's like harmful to your life. So you can call a DV shelter in California and let them know, hey, I'm on the way. Like, can you take me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You
It,
don't have to stay in your city. If you call a DV shelter in any place in America, because if that person's that dangerous, the way that the DV is laid out, the way these guys are, they'll follow you anyway. So you say, okay, I want to go to a whole nother state. You probably don't want to stay
No,
in that state.
you could go to a different state, hippie. You don't have to stay in New
yeah, you can
in
go to a
NOLA.
different state. You could go to a different city. Like, because usually what they'll ask you is, what city are you in? So you always want to say you in that city, just as a precaution. I'm here. I need help. And you know what I'm saying? But some of them, if you tell them you out of state, but you already called them, they all full, and you just making your way out. But I would say the biggest thing to do, the best thing to do, would just tell them that you already in that city and that you can be there in this amount of time because you got to really finesse and say
Mm-hmm.
certain stuff to get your way, get how you
Mm-hmm.
need to go because
Mm-hmm.
it's set up a certain way, but if you really need to leave, you gotta make it up. Okay, I'm here. I'm already here. Can I come? Like, cause
Yeah,
yeah,
and
they
she
don't
was
know.
saying, so can she get your email? She just probably want to talk to you about what you're going through. Maybe try to get some resources. Maybe you could help her. I think she's
Yeah,
considering coming to Texas as well. So
yeah. Go
DJ, I
to
want to come.
my
You know my
website. My
situation. You hear me, DJ?
say it again.
I want to come, but you know my situation.
Right. It's a
So
lot of people on this panel that you be or in this chat that are going through exactly what you're going through. You'd be
yeah,
surprised. I mean, DV wise, like what you
like I
live.
literally cried because I was getting ready to drive to Texas right now. For real. When you said it took 12 hours, I was getting ready to drive. Like
Well,
I'm that type of person. Like
it's
don't
less
set
than
me on
you. Yeah.
fire. I got a
but
truck. I got money. I will go.
but
My
see, but
people know that.
to this, but Kiki, she gonna make sure her pieces remained at all times, right? So
Hmm.
she gonna make sure her piece that you
Oh, I hold
is
that dear to me. That's
exactly
that's
exactly
number one. That's over
that
everything and everybody,
that's
even kids.
Leoism. That's Leoism 101. That will be maintained, right?
If I'm not
No,
straight, ain't nobody
baby,
straight. If
baby,
I'm not at peace,
baby.
ain't nobody
So,
at
so
peace because I be chilling. I be good. I be
Uh,
chilling. You come over here messing with me, everybody finna feel this heat, and I'm not like, please leave me
mm,
right. So
alone.
here, so
but
here, we're gonna start wadding this up. It's been 3 hours. I know your battery is
yeah,
probably, but
oh
I want to ask.
yeah.
So, how are your children doing now? How are they? I know you said your son had a psychiatric situation where he thought he wanted to end his life. How is his mental health doing? How's your son in Detroit faring? And how are your twins doing?
Um, pretty much everybody is good. I talk to everybody and make sure everybody straight on the up and up, and um, I guess because especially my two oldest sons because they they trust my word now because everything that I said would come to pass came to pass. Everything that I said would happen would happen. When I told them, okay, you want to leave? Okay, I need you to take this in mind. I need you to think about this. When you get there, when you get to this situation, blah, 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 blah. And so they are more trusting of my word because they're seeing that I know what I'm talking about. And I can understand that the trust was lost for a while because of what I was going through. And they probably did feel abandoned, even though I never went anywhere. But now they see that what I say is what it is for them. Those are my children. So what I say is what it is, and I think they're a little bit more at peace with the situation because they know that they see me work in real time, and then they know that what I say is gonna come. I'm gonna do what I tell them. So
And you
they're at
came
peace with
back.
me.
You back in
Yeah,
Atlanta, right? So they
yeah,
also see that you came back. So I think that's I think they will really say, "Hey, my mom's honorable," right? Because
yeah,
if the people, if the guy you was running from or you left from, and now he probably shooken up too, right? Because it's like Ninja, ain't nobody's. I come back for my kids. Ain't nobody scared of you no more, right? You just stay over there, and I stay over here. But that's an honorable thing, right? You put that fear aside because your kids need you, even though you're not, even though they're with their fathers or whatever. But you're still back in Atlanta at the same time. You're only a phone
yeah,
call away if needed.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's
And
exactly what
are
it
you?
is.
Here's another thing I'm gonna say this. Are you worried about someone trying to take custody legal? Because if
My
so, I would.
look, no, they already know what it is. They've experienced my rap too many times to even try me
That
like that.
you
And I can
better
say that
let
with
them
confidence.
know.
I can
Kiki,
say
you
that with
better let them
confidence.
know.
Yeah, they
You
know that I have forces, with me that they know that you can't pull that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna go down like the way you think it will if you try me. And I'm not trying to be arrogant, but that's just me like in mommy mode, mama bear, like don't play with
mm,
me.
Well, just in
Play
case,
with
I
my
would
baby.
say this because I went through this kind of a situation with my aunt had my daughter, and just legally, if you ever when you ever get some money, just go ahead and just file the papers to get for full custody of them from the legal standpoint. That way, they can never just go to the court and just try to do that. Then you'd be having to fight them. You know what I'm saying? They have to
Well,
fight you.
In
Right.
Georgia, the mother has sole custody. Anyway, the father has to go to court to fight for that. I have custody of my children legally, period, because no paternity has been set. Like he signed a birth certificate, but Georgia don't go by that. You have to go through the courts and you have to get DNA and all that type of stuff, and then it has to be like signed on paper, like this. Okay, this is my child. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's a lot. But I said I have sole custody, and even then, if any one of my children's father decided they wanted to take custody, we would have to go to court and fight for that, and then we would both have to speak, and then they would have to deem me unfit, and I'm not unfit, so there's no way you could do that. You can't.
Also, another thing I was gonna say, because you have your diagnosis of bipolar, I'm not sure if you're interested in this, but I think you could also file for Social Security. And if they deny you, then you keep filing them after a certain amount of time.
That's what I'm doing. I
You'll
no, but she,
I'm
but she,
they'll pay you up to the point,
yeah.
so you might get a chunk of money, and that might help you out also. Like,
but
Right.
that depends too, because you will have to prove the doctor will have to prove why that she can't work because of that. Because some people do work, some people live very good lives with bipolar, and they work every single day, right? So she will have to prove how that hinders her, or the doctor will have to write it in how it hinders her from working. So
I would just say, like, just to have additional resources. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have that, you have medical, you have all the. You know what I'm saying? So. I would. I mean, because here's the thing: is that even if they deny you, because they always deny you the first time, and then it might.
no, it all depends on your doctor. You
They
do a
did.
lot.
I'm almost at 2.5 years, but
Mm,
I now have new psychiatrists along with a new therapist along with all the information that I
yeah,
had
but
before Plus, I also put in additional information this time.
I'm trying to
No,
show
it's
y'all
different.
how to.
No, it's
I'm trying
different
to
for
teach you. I'm trying to teach you how to do it. But go
okay.
right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm gonna be quiet.
We are listening to you, sugar. We just giving our
Nah,
input. That's
I ain't
it.
saying
That's
that. I'm trying to get
what I'm
y'all
doing.
money. But go right ahead.
I'm a
You can
mic up so you
you can
can teach us
email me.
something, learn us something.
Nah, I ain't saying nothing now.
Go ahead and email me, baby. I'm listening. I need it. Yeah,
I ain't
Sugar,
I
come
saying
up
need that
nothing
with
now.
information.
information.
No.
No,
Love
no,
you,
no,
sugar.
don't be like that, sugar
We
love.
love
Okay, well, you know what?
you.
We gonna listen. Listen. I'm gonna say this. We're gonna say our final words, but don't
Yeah.
leave. Don't leave because we have a loved one that's going through something, and I want her to come up when this whole thing ends, and I want
Well,
us to support her. I
also
want.
click on Hippie before we go. Hey Mimi, I know I didn't. And my Angela, I know I
Hey,
spoke to
me,
y'all in the chat,
Angela.
but I didn't speak to y'all personally. Hello, lovelies.
Replay gang, you guys. I know y'all done a lot of y'all done missed stuff, so please do the replay. It's a lot of like technical difficulties at first, but it's a very great situation that we. It's great. I'm glad that Key just came here and did this. This is a blessing. I've been trying to get her on for the longest, but I know that she's life gets. Trust me,
I
I'm going through my own tornadoes and my own
no,
thing. You
but
might, honey, you might be a daughter of Oya because that's how like daughters of Oya they life be like that. You know what I'm saying? It be a tornado throughout the whole thing, and you think, damn, you know what I'm saying? What can
no,
I get a
she
break?
no, she's gonna help. She's gonna get her break. Well, she already has her break, right? But it's gonna get even better once she starts empowering others, right? Her job is to
Yeah,
teach. Her
I'm a
job is
life
to
path
empower
one.
others.
So we
I'm a
gonna
life
say
path
like some
one, so I already know.
what a life path. What?
Life
One,
path one.
and I'm double one.
Okay.
I'm
I
a
need to go back and look at my stuff. I
I'm
forgot.
a
Oh,
I'm
I
a
got
master.
a lot
I'm a
of stuff. Hi,
master 11.
Hippie.
All
Hi,
right,
Hippie.
let's thank you
Hey,
guys for
Grandma.
being here. All right, DJ, you want to take it? Y'all want to say y'all last thing so I can say my famous words, and then
We gonna stay after and have that. There's gonna be an after show that I'm sorry everybody can't witness because it's a personal thing going on, but we want
yeah,
to support
but you
our
ain't
sister.
got to say all that, DJ.
I'm sorry.
Just let them just say they last.
Kiki, we love you.
Everybody ain't got to know we got problems. God dang it.
We love
Okay.
you,
Who
Kiki.
wants to
That's
say
what we want to say.
who wants to say last words? Who wants to say?
So I just
Thank
Let
want
me
you,
to
sir.
say,
shout
Kiki,
out.
that
Let me
we
shout
love
out my
her.
socials and stuff before we get off of here.
Ouch.
So follow me on TikTok, Pretty High Butterfly on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, Pretty High Butterfly
Wait,
on
say it
Instagram.
slower.
Personal. Oh, sorry.
Say it slower so Jackie can drop the links. So
Okay.
Jackie, if you say it slower, she'll drop the links. All you gotta do is click
Also,
right.
drop your cash app if anybody wants to support. She's in the
Yes,
vein. She
right.
might
So
want to get some more lights up in there. Get some LEDs. Get some. You know what I'm saying? Please
Look,
send a cash app. You know what I'm saying? Help her out with her van, make it sweeter. You know what I'm saying? Get some more lights up in there.
that'll be nice.
Yeah,
That'll be so
Cash App.
nice.
I'll send something today.
Yeah. So
My cash app is what is my cash app? It's Glitz. It's GLITZ. The letter N, then Glamour. GLAMOR 91. That's my cash app. I was meaning to change it, but that's it.
Okay, you're
Is
gonna
that
have to say it again.
okay? So it's Glitz and Glamour. So
she
it's
just put it
G.
up
Oh,
there. She just put it up
DJ,
there. I tell you,
DJ, put
Jackie
it up.
good.
Oh no, that's
Jack or
wrong. It's
DJ.
that's
ain't
wrong.
there's no
Okay.
U. There's no U.
That's why you should let Jackie do it, DJ. You messing up.
Yeah, I'm not a good moderator. I can't spell.
I
I'm
know.
cracking up.
Me neither.
I am
Me
I'm a
cracking
neither.
graphic
up.
designer. Most graphic designers can't spell. We always be messing up.
I think that's right, but it's spelled different. My cash app spelled there's no U in the glamour part, so that's it. But
But
so
spell
yeah,
it again, baby. Spell it again.
it's GLITZNGLAMOR 91.
There we go.
Yeah,
Now postage, DJ.
yeah. That's
Now
my cash
what?
app.
Now what's your TikTok?
My TikTok is Pretty High Butterfly. and that's also my Instagram. And I
Pretty,
have um let me know when I can see it. I'm gonna just wait till we get into the chat.
pretty high, pretty high as HIGH or HI.
Yes,
Pretty P.
HIGH, Pretty High Butterfly. That's my IG and my TikTok. And the star of the show is my website. So I don't think we talked about this, but I do have
Go
a
ahead,
website
baby.
called thewanderingchrysalis.com.
Mm.
And this is where I sell my digital art on canvases, on journals, on anything you can think of. I also do,
Oh,
yeah, I also do
Oh my God, I'm a designer. I would love to have some of your artwork on my clothing and shoes. And yes.
oh, that's beautiful. That's new. I love that.
Oh my
That's
God, I would
beautiful.
love it. That's the kind of stuff I'm into. I had my classmate do his art on my stuff for graduation class to put in a fashion show. So please, I would be honored.
Yes,
Okay,
please,
oh,
everybody,
if you
please
go to
support
that,
her TikTok. Please send a cash out. Please support her. You know, she's a resilient young lady. This was a beautiful story I just think that was really important to share. I'm so
hold on,
proud.
I ain't
mhm.
done. I got one more. I got something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so when you go to the wanderingchrysalis.com, it's gonna take you to my Etsy shop. But on top of that, you will see a message where it says "message me," and that's where you'll get directly linked to my Instagram, so y'all can DM me and ask me anything y'all want to ask me. I'm full of information, so if you need
Okay,
assistance, reach out.
that's not your Instagram. Click it when Jackie just wrote it. Is that your Instagram right there? Click it,
Uh, that
DJ.
is my Instagram. That's my
See, I tell
Instagram, but
you. See, we let you got another one.
yeah, the Wandering Crystal is my business Instagram. It's
Oh,
just connected to my website, so
all
it's
right.
you can get in contact with me like that too. So yeah, I'm done now.
All right. Any last remarks before she take us out of here?
For me,
No, the people on the
what?
panel.
Oh,
Keep going. You're doing a great job.
Keep on going. Keep on pushing. Keep it moving. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No. All right.
Hey,
And
stay
Sugar Rush.
on the
I appreciate it.
ready.
Highlight. Yeah, thank you, DJ. Even though you're gonna give me all that information anyway, because I'm on the panel, so I can't click on it. But I'm gonna get it again anyway, and I'm gonna be in combo with you. But uh,
So,
we're
and
gonna say, you ready, DJ?
yep.
DJ, take us out of here.
I love who I am. I'm loving me. Look in the mirror. Unapologetically love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am a fan. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful. I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof. I'm 100 proof, and I love who I see because I'm living my truth. I'm invincible. I'm incredible. A star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible. I'm incredible.
I'm
And no
incredible.
one can stop
Hey,
me. Can stop me now.
Get
I'm
it.
invincible.
oh,
I'm incredible.